Afghanistan, a nation of 37 million people, has one of the fastest growing populations on the planet and will soon be more populous than either Canada or Poland. It is bordered by Iran, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, China, and Pakistan. Afghanistan is located at the strategic crossroads that has connected Iranian, Central, and East Asian civilizations to India. It is one of the most mountainous countries in the world. However, it is also home to a vast network of rivers and fertile valleys, carved out by the massive snowmelt flowing from the Hindu Kush and other mountain ranges which envelop the country. More than 4,000 years ago, the farmers of this region began to urbanize. Little is known about these first ancient city-states, other than that those in the north, in the land that became known as Bactria, were culturally connected to Central Asian peoples, while those in the southeast were heavily influenced by the Indus Valley civilization, with some of the cities there likely being founded by colonists from the south. However, until more archaeological work is done, Afghanistan's ancient past will remain largely mysterious. Even Kabul, the current capital of Afghanistan, is likely to have been near continuously inhabited for more than 3,500 years, with the exact origin and people who built it unknown. Sometime during the 7th century BC, the Medes, a northern Iranian people, were the first to conquer and unite this land under their rule, which lasted approximately a little over a century. They were overthrown by the closely related Achaemenid Persians, who divided the empire up into satrapies, or provinces. By the time of the conquests of Alexander the Great, Persian people, language, culture, and religion were prevalent in what is now Afghanistan, with sizable Buddhist and Greek minorities who the Persians had resettled from their western provinces in the preceding centuries. Alexander faced some of the most formidable resistance of his conquests in Bactria, which is likely the primary reason he married the Bactrian princess Roxana, with whom he had a son, also named Alexander, which secured the allegiance of much of the Bactrian nobility and people, and access to India through the strategically important Khyber Pass. Alexander also founded several Greek colonies in the region that later became important political, commercial, and military centers. The Macedonian general Seleucus and his descendants ruled over much of the eastern portion of Alexander's empire in the years following his death at the age of 32. Control over Bactria and the Indus River Valley was tenuous at best. Before 300 BC, much of this territory had been lost to the Indian-Mauryan Empire of Chandragupta. In the peace that followed the war between the two empires, Chandragupta married Seleucus's daughter and gifted his father-in-law 500 trained war elephants, which he used to great effect in his wars in the west. Not long after, the Greek cities of Bactria overthrew Seleucid rule, establishing a wealthy kingdom that controlled much of the land trade to and from China and India. They were able to withstand a major Seleucid invasion and a nearly 3-year-long siege of their capital city of Balkh, causing the exhausted Seleucids to sue for peace. Over the next 2 decades, the Seleucid Empire was also greatly weakened by the rise of another one of their former vassals, the Arsacid Parthians. In the southeast, the Mauryan Empire collapsed. The Greco-Bactrians were then able to effectively fill much of the power vacuum left by these two empires, but their success was halted by internal division. As much of the army was in India, expanding Greco-Bactrian territory, the king was overthrown by a usurper, splitting the empire into 2 kingdoms, which both experienced several decades of relative stability and prosperity, and the flourishing of a culture that was a unique amalgamation of Greek, Iranian, Indian, and other Central Asian cultures. After the Greco-Bactrians suffered a series of severe military defeats by the Parthians, they were overrun by successive waves of nomadic invaders. The most powerful of these tribal confederations were the Yhwh and the Saka, or Scythians, who established control over the lower Indus Valley. The Yhwh settled in Bactria and largely assimilated with the local people over time. After the waves of nomadic invasions calmed down to some extent, the Parthians then conquered much of the east, up until the Indus River. The Parthian Arsacid dynasty was very hands-off in their style of governance, and were content as long as taxes were paid and men supplied to the army when needed. And as they became increasingly focused on halting Roman expansion into Mesopotamia, the Parthian noble family that had defeated the Scythians and had seized control over the Indus River seceded from the empire, establishing the Sassanid kingdom, or more commonly called the Indo-Parthian kingdom. And although they ceased to pay taxes, and their king claimed equal status to the Parthian great king, the two states appear to have been allies and deeply involved in each other's politics. In the north, the Greco-Bactrian people and Yhwh tribes formed the Kushan kingdom, and became an empire at the expense of the Parthians, and then expanded deep into Central Asia and the Indian subcontinent. The Kushans worshipped Greek as well as Hindu gods, but gradually over time, Buddhism became more prevalent and was widely promoted within the empire's borders, and even without, with Buddhist merchants and missionaries traveling to Han China, which many believe were the first to introduce Buddhism to China. The Kushan Empire was the crossroads of the world. Manufactured goods from as far away as China, Rome, and Aksumite Ethiopia would have been common sights in the great cities of the Kushan Empire. In the west, the Parthians succumbed to internal infighting, which allowed the Sassanid Persians to overthrow them. Viewing themselves as the re-establishment of the ancient Achaemenid Persian Empire that Alexander had toppled, the reinvigorated Persians successfully campaigned to the north, south, east, and west, quickly overrunning the Kushan Empire, and established the Kushan Shahs as vassal kings of a greatly diminished territory, and were gradually stripped of their military and administrative power. During the intermediate period of Sasanian decline, the nomadic Kidarites and then Hephthalites gained control over the eastern portion of the empire, and like the Yhwh before them, they largely adopted much of the local culture before being reconquered by the Sasanians. It was during Sasanian rule that the first recorded instance of the term Afghan was made in reference to the people inhabiting the mountainous eastern provinces of the empire, and is likely derived from the Pashtun ethnic group, which is the largest in Afghanistan. By the time of this region's conquest by the Arab
What you're seeing behind me is the visual representation of a $300 billion industry.
Caliphates. Buddhism and the Persian Zoroastrian faith were the dominant religions in the land that proved difficult to control. Whenever a large Arab army left, the locals would rebel and revert to their ancient customs and self-rule. In the east, Kabul managed to remain an independent, wealthy city-state, controlling trade through the Khyber Pass to India, ruled over by Buddhists and Hindus. It was not until the late 9th century that the Safarid dynasty, founded by a Persian coppersmith born in southwestern Afghanistan, successfully rebelled against the Abbasid Caliphate and firmly established local rule, that Afghans began to convert to Islam, which the dynasty widely promoted. The Safarids were overthrown by the Samanid Empire, whose rulers claimed descent from the Sasanian Persians, and extensively promoted Persian culture and Islam throughout the empire. They made the mistake of utilizing Turkic slave soldiers, which in time overthrew them and established the Ghaznavid dynasty. Based out of the city of Ghazna in eastern Afghanistan, they continued the policies of promoting Islam and Persian culture, particularly among the nomadic Turkic tribes that were settled within the empire. The Ghaznavids were greatly weakened by conflict with the Seljuk Turk Empire, which allowed for their overthrow by the native Ghurid dynasty, which had recently converted from Buddhism to Islam, and were possibly of Pashtun descent. During the reign of Sultan Ghiyath al-Din Muhammad, the Ghurid Sultanate became a major world power, stretching from the Iranian plateau to Bengal in the east. However, after Ghiyath al-Din's death, the empire fell into infighting, and was rapidly conquered by both the Delhi Sultanate in India and the Empire of Khorasan, both of Turkic Mamluk origin. Only 15 years after their conquest of the Ghurid Sultanate, Khorasan was overrun by the Mongol Empire of Genghis Khan, who frequently massacred the populations of cities that did not immediately surrender. The Mongol Empire split into several successor states not long after their conquest of the region. The Yhwh Khanate, as the name coincidentally implies, fell ill and was ravaged by the plague, wiping out much of the Mongol royal family and army. And as the Yhwh Khanate fragmented into many small states, the Tajik vassal princes of Herat established a sizable kingdom for a short time. All of these small states were conquered by the Turco-Mongol warlord Tamerlane, who inflicted even greater slaughter and destruction throughout the Near East than the Mongols had done a few generations before. Timur frequently used Afghanistan as his base of operations, and his descendants moved the capital from Samarkand to Herat. The century following Timur's death began with peace and prosperity and ended with internal strife and civil war, with its territory being lost to the Uzbeks in the north, the Safavid Persians in the west, and in the southeast the emergent Mughal Empire, which would go on to conquer most of India, claiming descent from Timur and Genghis Khan. Throughout the 17th century, Afghanistan became a largely autonomous buffer zone between the powerful Safavid and Mughal empires. In 1709, the Pashtun Hotak dynasty successfully rebelled and established a short-lived empire by conquering a great deal of Iranian territory. The Safavid Empire was overthrown by the soldier of fortune Nader Shah. He was the son of a common herdsman and one of the most brilliant military strategists ever to have lived. He reconquered Afghanistan and defeated Ottoman and Mughal armies, but his reign was brought short when he was assassinated at the age of 48. One of his cavalry commanders, Ahmad Shah Durrani, was a Pashtun and returned to his homeland, where a Pashtun tribal confederation selected him as their leader. He used his military experience to great effect, conquering those cities that did not join his cause in Afghanistan. And during his long 25-year reign, he successfully campaigned in India 3 times against the Marathas and Mughals, and even sacked their capital city of Delhi in 1757. The Durrani Empire is considered the foundation of the modern state of Afghanistan, and Ahmad Shah Durrani as the father of the nation. The empire declined after they were defeated by the Sikhs and driven out of the Indian subcontinent. However, the greatest factor influencing their decline may have been economic, as trade was cut off to China due to poor diplomatic relations, and the traffic along the ancient land trade routes connecting India, Iran, and Central Asia all but disappeared. This was due to the expansion of the Russian Empire into Central Asia and the dominance of the British East India Company over maritime trade, leaving Afghanistan in a more isolated state than it had been in over 2,000 years, but also a more unified one, with the majority of the country practicing the same religion, Sunni Islam, and the concept of a national Afghan identity became prevalent, regardless of tribal or ethnic affiliation. The Durrani were overthrown by Dost Muhammad Khan, who established the Emirate of Afghanistan. The British, who had largely gained control over India and its revenue, feared that the Russians would take Afghanistan and use it as a staging ground to take India from them. So to preempt the Russians, they invaded instead, and reinstalled the deposed Durrani king on the throne, who was widely disliked. After encountering minimal resistance to their conquest and occupation of the country, the British withdrew most of their troops back to India. The remaining British occupying force was then ambushed and was almost completely slaughtered as they attempted to retreat from the country. In an event that shocked Great Britain and the Western world, the Afghans then reinstated Dost Muhammad Khan on the throne of the country. Nearly 4 decades after the first invasion, the British invaded again. A peace was concluded after both sides suffered heavy casualties. Afghanistan became a British protectorate, with the Afghans maintaining complete self-rule and the British handling their foreign affairs, which they didn't do too much of anyways, namely, no cadoodling with the Ruskies. 40 years later, in a third Anglo-Afghan War, 120,000 Afghans invaded India. After a few brief clashes with the British, a treaty was made where Afghanistan would be internationally recognized as a fully independent state. A few years later, in 1926, the country was reformed into the Kingdom of Afghanistan and began the process of modernization and increased contacts with the outside world. In 1973, the monarchy was overthrown in a bloodless coup d'etat by the king's cousin, Mohammed Daoud Khan, who became the president of a single-party republic, who further sought to modernize the country and received aid from the Soviet Union and the United States, who both tried to curry influence over the country. In 1978, Daoud and many of his family members were assassinated during a communist coup d'etat, establishing the Democratic Republic of Afghanistan. This Soviet-backed government pushed wide-ranging reforms that sought to modernize and abolish most traditional and religious societal structures. This caused widespread insurrection and Soviet involvement in a long war of attrition that nearly lasted 10 years, and caused millions of refugees to leave the country. A few years after the Soviet Union withdrew their forces, the Islamic State of Afghanistan overthrew the government and took over the cities, which was largely overthrown by the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan in 1996, which established a totalitarian rule. They were removed from power 5 years later by U.S. coalition forces and the Northern Alliance, and established the Islamic Republic of Afghanistan in 2004. Let me know in the comments of what you believe the future holds for Afghanistan. Also, let me know in the comments of what you found most interesting about Afghan history. This has been Epimetheus. Remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notifications whenever I make new content like this. And a big thanks to my patrons over on Patreon, who help make content like this possible.
in Afghanistan. It says it wants an Islamic system that's compatible with society. But what will that mean for millions of Afghans? And how are world powers reacting to this development? This is Inside Story. Hello, welcome to the program. I'm Kim Vanel. Afghanistan is now under the full control of the Taliban. It took the armed group less than 10 days to sweep across every province and all the way to the presidential palace in the capital, Kabul. Its leadership says it wants peace and an inclusive government that's compatible with Islamic law. But many Afghans are skeptical. Observers are worried after scenes of panic and desperation at Kabul's international airport on Monday. Thousands of Afghans have been trying to leave the country since the fall of the government a day earlier. But all commercial flights have been cancelled until further notice. The Taliban has tried to reassure people they have nothing to fear. In the US, the rapid fall of the Afghan government appeared to come as a surprise for some White House officials. President Joe Biden is facing criticism for sticking to the plan initiated by his predecessor, Donald Trump, to end the US military mission. But Secretary of State Antony Blinken insists Washington has achieved its goals in Afghanistan.
Let's take a step back. This is manifestly not Saigon. The fact of the matter is this. We went to Afghanistan 20 years ago with one mission in mind, and that was to deal with the people who attacked us on 9/11. And that mission has been successful. We brought bin Laden to justice a decade ago. Al-Qaeda, the group that attacked us, has been vastly diminished. Its capacity to attack us again from Afghanistan has been, right now, does not exist. And we're going to make sure that we keep in place in the region the capacity, the forces necessary to see any reemergence of a terrorist threat and to be able to deal with it. So in terms of what we set out to do in Afghanistan, we've done it.
The Taliban is holding talks to form what it calls an open, inclusive Islamic government. It's unclear what that will look like, but a spokesman says certain policies have already been agreed. The armed group says the rights of women will be respected. They'll have access to education and will be allowed to work as long as they wear the hijab. People will be able to criticize whoever they want. Media freedoms will be tolerated, but with limits on, quote, character assassination. And the Taliban says criminal punishments will be decided by the courts. We'll bring in our guests in just a moment, but first, Rob McBride has this update from Kabul.
There's a 90% chance your phone is already infected with this. There's a new groundbreaking discovery that's reversing planned obsolescence. And smartphone companies are trying their hardest to make it illegal in the United States. Rather than spending $1,200 to $1,800 on a brand new smartphone every year, this $37 device is the best and most cost-effective way to turn your slow smartphone into a lightning-fast handheld supercomputer that will last a lifetime. The gadget uses extremely high-tech technology that overrides your smartphone's operating system, making any slow loading times completely disappear from your phone. The charger is equipped with the revolutionary QC 3.0 technology, which is 4 times faster than traditional chargers, charging a depleted battery from 1% to 100% in just 11 minutes. Making one full charge unlock the true potential of the battery, allowing it to last up to 56 hours. Bolts Pro distributes power-hungry apps like Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc. to a more energy-efficient flow, tripling your device's performance and extending the battery life. What's interesting about this product is that it was developed by a former engineer. She was actually present during the creation of the planned obsolescence scandal. She had this to say about it. So if you've noticed your phone acting up after a software update, it's not your imagination. Planned obsolescence are pre-built downgrades that are actually disguised as software updates. The updates activate once a year, right before the newest models are set to release. They're essentially destroying your phone in hopes of you buying the new one coming out. Others at Apple joined her in her war against the biggest
Chaotic and tragic scenes continuing to unfold at Kabul's international airport, with thousands of people still desperate to get out of Afghanistan as the Taliban secures its control of Kabul. All of this began when it was realized that the government here was collapsing. There was a surge of people towards the airport. They have completely taken over the terminal, with many people spilling onto the runway, clambering to get onto aircraft that were parked there. Also clambering to get onto US military aircraft as they were taxiing for takeoff. There have also been some clips, tragically, of people clinging to wings and then falling to their deaths as the planes were taking off. There has been, to some extent, a certain amount of order has attempted at being restored, with the Taliban putting a cordon around the terminal to stop any more people getting in. And the US forces, of course, as they continue their evacuation of embassy personnel and other US citizens, have their own cordon. But still, there are thousands of people between those two cordons, desperate to find any flights, as the flights, all commercial flights at least, remain cancelled at this stage. In Kabul itself, things remain fairly calm and quiet on the streets, but there is a fairly surreal feel about this first day of Taliban rule here, with many people, Kabul residents, coming out for the first time to see Taliban fighters now taking over checkpoints where once there were soldiers and police who again seem to have disappeared, melted away, as the Taliban gets to grips with the governing of this country. But it is fairly surreal, with many Kabul residents talking for the first time to the Taliban who've arrived in their midst here in Kabul as they get to grips with this new reality. Many of them taking selfies, shaking hands as we move forward into the unknown, as the Taliban takes control and we see what this new Taliban rule will look like. Rob McBride in Kabul for Inside Story.
Okay, let's bring in our guests. In Washington, D.C., we have Shafiq Hamdam, former Deputy Senior Advisor to former President Ashraf Ghani and a former Senior Advisor to NATO in Afghanistan. In Doha, we have Abdul Salam Zaif, a founding member of the Taliban and former Taliban ambassador to Pakistan. In Newfane, Vermont, we have Peter Galbraith, a former Deputy United Nations Special Envoy to Afghanistan. A very warm welcome to you all. I'd like to begin with you, Mr. Abdul Salam Zaif. You are one of the founding members of the Taliban. Tell me, is this going to be what we see now? Is it going to be the Taliban rule of old, or have things changed? Has the group changed?
I think right now this is very fast to justice about. I think the Taliban, which did declare from before they are believing on political solution in Afghanistan, especially for the Kabul. Before the Taliban was coming to Kabul yesterday, it was supposed to the Taliban will not enter to Kabul till the delegation is coming to Doha and sitting with the Taliban and discussing how to come to Kabul, how to be transferred of the power in Kabul, and how the Taliban will be coming, entering to the Kabul. But unfortunately, leaving Kabul from some responsible people and this security in the Kabul, that's giving a chance the Taliban to enter to the city for the security reason, to keep the security of the people, and to this was also a request from some people from inside the Kabul. The Taliban should come to take responsibility because there is no security force in Kabul. There is no responsible for that.
Okay.
I think still the Taliban didn't declare anything about the presidential house. Still, they are waiting. The team will come to Doha. It was supposed to come today, but from I don't know it's due to Doha or not.
Okay.
But they will be discussing the issue, political issue, with this delegation, and then they will be declaring what will be the next position of Taliban. and anything will be declared.
Okay, we will talk a little bit later in the program about those talks in Doha and what a future governance might look like. But first, I want to come to you, Shafiq Hamdan. You were an advisor to the former president, I guess, Ashraf Ghani. What's your take on developments? Does the Taliban have legitimacy?
Look, did you know there was a government-funded education grant that could deposit up to $38,070 direct?
No, not at all. So far, they do have the charge. They do control a lot of the country. But in order to have a legitimacy, they require a vote, an endorsement, or whatever you call it, from the Afghan people. So for that, I think it's required that immediately Taliban have to call for a loya jirga, where two representatives of Afghan people get together and they decide about the future of Afghanistan. Let's not forget that Taliban has claimed repeatedly, and they're standing on this, saying that they're not fighting for power, they're not fighting for position, and now they have to prove, because they have overthrown a government, they have forced foreign troops to leave Afghanistan. So now they have to prove in action what they have claimed for. So even think of this, if Afghan people have to choose, elect, or vote for Taliban, that's absolutely fine. But for Taliban, the immediate thing is to have this legitimacy internally, then they can appeal to the global or world community for their recognition. But first step is first. They have to have first recognition within the Afghan people. And this is immediately needed because there is a vacuum of power, there's vacuum of legitimacy. We do have, institutions, we do have a government that needs to be run. Meanwhile, we do have diplomatic representation across the globe that they have to be accountable to somebody and have to be officially representing Afghanistan. Therefore, I think Taliban has more to do now than they were guessing or than they had to do while they were fighting.
Okay, Peter Galbraith, if you accept, as Shafiq Hamdan posits there, that the Taliban doesn't have legitimacy, did Ashraf Ghani have legitimacy? Did the Afghan government have legitimacy?
Well, that is the question, and that, I think, the lack of legitimacy explains why the whole Afghan government military collapsed in a matter of days. Ashraf Ghani was in office as a result of two consecutive massively fraudulent elections. His predecessor, Hamid Karzai, obtained a second term as a result of a massively fraudulent election. And the trouble was that when you come into office by having corrupt power brokers put you in power, it makes it almost impossible to deal with the problem in Afghanistan, which was massive corruption. And you could see this in the military, where soldiers weren't paid, where they weren't resupplied, where Afghans felt that the institutions didn't serve them. The roads were built to allow subsistence farmers to be market farmers, and then a corrupt police would set up checkpoints and basically rob them. So this was the larger problem, was a lack of legitimacy by the previous government, and frankly, its soldiers weren't willing to defend it, even though they were vastly better armed than the Taliban and more numerous.
Okay, Abdul Salam Zaif, I'd like to come back to you. If we're talking about the way that the Taliban has taken over, often it was able to come through taking over many districts seemingly without a fight. But Human Rights Watch says there have also been instances that the Taliban has executed soldiers and even civilians who have ties to the Afghan government. What are you hearing?
I don't know really, because I'm far away, but when I'm in contact with the people, I was contacting with the people, they were happy, and they said something was happening, but this was not from Taliban side, and this was like a personal executing some people, because in Kandahar it was a lot of cruelty was done before, and this was many people will disappear, and this was something very hard expected to be happening, but it was less than expected.
Okay.
I think the Taliban, they were not taking responsibility, but they were trying to always to find the people who is doing something wrong in who is executing the human rights. But this was not like we heard from some side like propaganda against the Taliban.
Okay, Shafiq Hamdam, your family is in Afghanistan. You're in Washington, D.C., but your family is there. How are they feeling? How are you feeling?
It depends. I do feel very bad because, I'm worried about their safety and security. And they, honestly, they are not worried much about security anyway, because it wasn't secure before this. But they're worried, like for my mother who's teaching girls, if she can continue teaching girls. And for my sister who has studied, Islamic Sharia, she's graduate of college. And actually, I took her during Taliban regime to secret schools. And now gladly she's a graduate of college. Can she continue and work? And my brother who's a computer scientist, another brother who's an engineer, and another brother who's also in the military, can they serve their nation with their skills, with their ability and knowledge? And beyond that, I think now Ashraf Ghani has gone. There is another man replacing him, correct? But what about these women, cabinet members, women parliamentarians, politicians? I know Taliban has claimed that they have been changed, and I'm looking and observing. I hope it's true, and I have seen some signs of changes as well. But they do not have this capacity to replace these women. They do not have invested on women, to have this power now to come and replace for what's so-called the puppet regime or whatever you call it by the Taliban means. So I'm afraid if women are not included, if they're excluded from the political decision-making body, especially from the cabinet, especially from judicial system, then I think we will return back to before 2000 or 2001. So my suggestion, and I think it's a challenge for the Taliban as well, that the world and Afghan people see how much they have changed, how much tolerance do they have against minority, against different ethnicity groups. These are the things that we still have to observe and see the changes what the Taliban have claimed so far.
Abdul Salam Zaif, what are you hearing from the Taliban? Because this is a big question for a lot of women. Will they have access to education? And girls, will they be allowed to work?
Which I'm hearing, I know I heard from the Taliban, they will be allowing the women to go to school and to study, and for the student to study, and also to work, go to the politics, and the teacher will go to their jobs. And this, all the things the Taliban, they agreed, and they declared that before they will be not against anyone. But I think just the condition will be changed. The right of the women, the right of the people to do work in Afghanistan and to do politics and to do study, it will be not changing.
Okay. Peter Galbraith, we heard earlier from the US Secretary of State who said that American interests or objectives rather have been achieved, but this has also been described as a colossal humiliation for the US. What's your take?
Because I own a home, I'm getting major discounts on all home purchases.
And home improvement purchases. Homeowners nationwide are using Mortgagely for major savings.
Well, it's a catastrophic failure. The United States was in Afghanistan for 20 years, twice as long as the Soviet Union. It spent around $2 trillion, more than 2,300 dead. It spent hundreds of billions on the Afghan military and police and in aid programs. And the thing collapsed in days. When my first trip to Afghanistan was February 14th, 1989 with the Mujahideen. And that was the day the Soviets withdrew. The Soviet installed regime lasted more than 2 years. It even outlasted the Soviet Union itself. Whereas this collapse took place before the Americans had even finished their withdrawal. So it's really stunning. And I want to say a couple of points. First, I feel for Shafiq Hamdan's family and the families of my friends who are in Kabul. This is a time of terrible uncertainty. I was speaking to some today. There are people going door to door. Taliban or maybe just robbers, people dressed like Taliban. So it's terrifying. And the other point I want to make is there's the problem of, in addition to women and girls, which of course is enormous, there's the problem of the Hazara, who are Shiite. And if you look at the map, that's the part of Afghanistan the Taliban have not taken or not yet taken. And when the Taliban were last in power, there were massacres of Shiites and something that began to look like genocide. So, and of course, the Taliban are a Salafi jihadi group who view Shiites as apostates. So what's going to happen to that community is 15% of Afghanistan's population. This is something that ought to be a major concern to the international community, in addition to the concern about the future of women and girls.
Okay, yeah, you make a very interesting point. I want to put that to you, Abdul Salam Zaif. I mean, is that something that the international community should be concerned about?
I think about the issue of Hazara, this is not the issue of concern. Already there was a lot of negotiation to the Hazara ulama, scholar, in the tribe leader. And this problem is resolved. There is nothing to be a clash between Taliban and Hazara by any need. And the Taliban, they are not raising this kind of issue like some people, they already wanted to raise this issue, but the Taliban was very careful about this issue. And the new Afghanistan, I think the Taliban, they are more experienced, they have more experience, they have a lot of information about the past, and they will not do the same mistake which was done before from not moving. But I think the Taliban know the importance of Afghanistan, the importance and the legitimacy, the importance of the unity in Afghanistan, the importance of the war community, and this all they are thinking about that. They are discussing. They are aware of that. I think they would be in the next Afghanistan. I'm not thinking these kind of things would happen between tribes. Okay. That's if I tell to my colleagues that. One thing in two weeks, all the government was collapsing, including the Americans. Still, they are in Kabul. That is showing the people what they want, what the people of Afghanistan want. What is the priority of the people? The priority of the people is life, security, and stability. Then other thing. I think this is very important. When the stability is coming, the rest of things is possible to be discussed.
Okay,
and develop.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. I want to put exactly that to Shafiq Hamdam, because if we look forward, and we need to look forward now, the former president, Hamid Karzai, is forming a coordinating council to try and manage a peaceful transfer of power. How do you think that is going to go? What discussions will be being had behind closed doors now?
That's absolutely illegitimate body, has no legitimacy and no power and no recognition, because the people in this coalition, the three individuals, cannot represent Afghanistan and Afghan people. They are also failed leaders that even they have never ever truly received the legitimacy or endorsement from the Afghan people. So how they will be able to transfer a power that has no existence anymore, and how they would transfer power to somebody who already in power. So I think that's beyond discussion, and it's up to the Afghan people, to the Afghan nation to decide how they will form their future government, and Taliban can facilitate that. As I mentioned before, that government could be the Taliban regime.
Sure.
But let's not forget, and let's not allow individuals to think and to decide on behalf of Afghan people. We have experienced a massive failure of President Ghani, mainly because he tried to represent the nation, but he wasn't true representative of the people. So Taliban has to be also careful. If they want to get this legitimacy endorsement, they have to return to the people, and must not include and believe in these individuals who have been part of failures in Afghanistan, who have been, committing and known as war criminals and atrocities. So if again these people are involved in the formation of the government, if again, they are in power. I don't see any difference, and I don't see any reason for Taliban to say, hey, we are here with a change.
Okay, we're nearing the end of the program. Peter Galbraith, I'd like to come back to you. Do you foresee a future in which the US will form diplomatic relations with the Taliban?
Well, personally, I think the United States should. Diplomatic recognition does not imply approval. It simply is a recognition of the fact that the Taliban are, in fact, the government of Afghanistan. They have seized power. That is a fact. And so the question is, will the United States be better able to accomplish its objectives in Afghanistan, which include making sure that terrorist groups like Al-Qaeda and ISIS do not re-establish themselves there, and being able to do something to promote the rights of women, girls, to protect the Hazars and the ethnic minority, and to facilitate the exit from Afghanistan of the people who supported the international coalition, not just interpreters and people who work for the embassies or the military, but also people who work for the United Nations and for the NGOs. I hope many of them will be able to stay, but clearly many of them will want to go. And for all those reasons, it makes sense to have a continued diplomatic presence, not like what we had, maybe quite a small embassy, but to be engaged with the new government, which we, of course, wish wasn't there, but in fact is there.
All right, we have to leave it there for time. So much more we could talk about it. Thank you very much for joining us here on the program, Shafiq Hamdam, Mullah Abdul Salam Zaif, and Peter Galbraith. And thank you too for watching. You can see the program again anytime by visiting our website, aljazeera.com. And for further discussion, go to our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/AJ Inside Story. You can also join the conversation on Twitter. Our handle is @AJ Inside Story, or you can message me directly @KimVanel. From me and the whole team here in Doha, bye-bye for now.
Well, I'm joined now by our correspondent, Secunda Kamani, who joins us from Kabul. Secunda, worrying developments. You know people who are heading to the airport. I know people who are heading to that airport to get out. And this was talked about by Western intelligence agencies in the last 24 hours. And now this.
Yeah, absolutely. We're trying to make contact with a number of people that we've been in touch with who are in and around the airport to check that they're safe and to try and find out more details. At the moment, they haven't come yet, but what we do know, or what we're being told, is that a suicide bomber blew himself up close to the Abbey Gate entrance to the airport. That's an entrance where there's a presence of British soldiers and American soldiers. I've been there, I've filmed there on a number of occasions. There's large crowds of ordinary Afghans trying to get through, many of them without correct documentation. So thousands of people there, as well as smaller numbers of people who did have the correct documentation, who were further along, closer to the gate. We're not clear exactly where this explosion happened, but also getting reports of ongoing gunfire. This is very much a fluid situation. This is very much what everyone was afraid of happening. As you say, a number of Western security agencies had warned of the possibility of a suicide attack, saying that it was imminent, saying that it was just a number of hours away potentially. That message not really filtering through to those people in such a state of confusion, in such a state of desperation at the airport. Now we've had this blast.
Yeah, and casualties remain unclear. We're still waiting for that information to come through. But Secunda, Bilal Sawari was just saying now, you know, one of the things that we need to look at is the security that was provided at the airport. Just help our viewers understand that road to the airport, the number of checkpoints, who held the security of the airport and how this could have slipped through. I mean, frankly, there is so much chaos at that airport that you know, so much has happened there. But just help us understand the makeup of the airport.
It's confusing because there's a number of different gates and there's multiple different forces in charge of different parts of the areas around the airport. So you have the Taliban, you have American and British forces, as well as other kind of NATO nations at some of the gates right by the entrances, really. And you also have units of Afghan army forces that are yet to surrender, that are kind of working alongside American forces. So you have multiple different forces in charge of different parts, sometimes quite close to each other. Now, we've seen lots of reports of Taliban checkpoints leading up to the airport. I have to say, in all the trips that I've done to the airport, I've only seen, in fact, I don't think I've ever seen an active Taliban checkpoint, as one would describe it, where people are being searched systematically and asked who they are and where they're going and what their documentation is. I've heard colleagues talking about it, but all the approaches to the airport that I've taken, there's not been that. We've seen Taliban forces at times, but not checking and stopping people, certainly not on a regular basis. So, you know, this was a soft target. If someone wanted to carry out an awful suicide bombing, one can hardly fathom the rationale or justification for it, given that there's so many ordinary desperate Afghans there. But if someone wanted to do it, it would have been an easy target to strike.
Very much so. And not just the people who have camped out there for days and days, busloads of people who have been promised some kind of safe passage, some kind of security by various different governments who are trying to evacuate their staff and their people. And just in the last few hours, we were told that people should stay away from the airport. But ultimately, I imagine the bulk of the casualties will be the Afghans themselves.
Absolutely, and tragically, that seems always to be the case. Ordinary Afghans paying the price for a conflict that they have no part in, and certainly have no desire to be part of. The suspicion will be, of course, that this attack was carried out by the Islamic State group. No claim of responsibility yet, but they've repeatedly carried out horrific, devastating attacks on the softest of targets. They've carried out attacks on wedding halls, on hospital maternity units. It's on almost anything you can think of, they've attacked. So, and we heard these repeated warnings that an attack was possible, was likely, and was imminent. Unfortunately, that message would not have filtered down to the people on the ground, and many of those people were too desperate to try and leave the country to have really given up their intention to try and get inside just because of this threat. So those people would have most likely make up the bulk of the casualties. Although, as you say, as of yet, we still don't have those figures.
We are still getting information on that. Secunda, if I can keep you there for a minute and just bring in Frank Gardner to give us some perspective on ISIS-K, really, and who they are, their foothold in Afghanistan, what all this means.
Well, the warning was very much about the so-called ISIS-K, otherwise known as Islamic State in Khorasan province, which is the affiliate of ISIS, based in Nangarhar province in eastern Afghanistan. Last year, they carried out 24 attacks in Kabul alone, 18 in the year before that. And as Secunda was mentioning there, they are absolutely ruthless in who they target. They have gone into maternity wards of a hospital and shot dead pregnant women and babies. They have targeted girls' schools. They have absolutely no morality whatsoever. And they are considered to be the biggest security threat right now. They haven't managed to recruit that many ISIS militants from Syria and Iraq. They'd like to, but it's actually geographically quite difficult for them to do. So they've recruited from disaffected Taliban in the past, Taliban fighters who don't consider that the Taliban are extreme enough. They've also recruited from Pakistani Taliban, and they have been involved in the drugs trade.
You know, Frank, we were just talking to Bilal Sarwari, who said this latest explosion sums up the failures of this withdrawal of the last 20 years, of the fact that an airport couldn't be secured.
Well, I think we're going to have to wait for the exact details, but you've seen the scenes of chaos there. I mean, I think you've got to separate two things. The Western military withdrawal from Afghanistan was a shambles. the way it was announced. It wasn't the fact that they withdrew. They were going to have to end their presence sooner or later. But the fact that it was done in overnight practically, well, they withdrew from Bagram Airport overnight, it simply pulled the rug from underneath the fairly weak and unstable Afghan national forces. So they just simply surrendered all over the place. But the airlift has been an incredible success to have organized such a mass evacuation of people at short notice in terrible conditions and working with the compliance of a force that has just been fighting a 20-year insurgency. It's extraordinary that it has gone as well as it has. And I think you've got to pay some credit to the people who are risking their lives down there on that runway on both sides of the fence. The Taliban have been despite the reports of obstructions and beatings, they have been relatively compliant. They have allowed, as you put it yourself this morning on the broadcast we both did, the cream, the brains of Afghan society to stream out of the country. This is terrible optics for the Taliban. This does not look good for them. And yet they have up until now allowed it.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, they've called on Afghans not to leave the country. And while the focus has been on Kabul airport, there are other border crossings that are flooding with people. And there must be concern, Frank, from intelligence agencies of the number of people who are just moving now, security threats, security concerns across the region.
Well, yes. I mean, Afghanistan, unfortunately, has suffered mass displacement of populations ever since 1979, since the Soviet invasion on Christmas Eve, with millions displaced. Pakistan has hosted a lot of these people. So any instability in Afghanistan is going to play out into regional countries. Turkey has said, we don't want to be a transit area for them. They're trying to seal their border with Iran. There are crossing points, Spin Boldak, for example, in the southeast of the country on the Afghan-Pakistani border. There is a plan mooted by British government ministers to try and set up regional hubs so that people can, if they can't get out by air, to somehow make their way across the borders. But that's difficult and dangerous and expensive for them. And those countries aren't necessarily going to want them. Turkey certainly said, we don't want them.
Yeah, absolutely. And all sorts of security concerns. And just, Frank, tell us what Western intelligence agencies have been warning in the last 24 hours, because they said something like this was imminent.
They did, and it was met by enormous skepticism on social media and on phone-ins, with so many people, certainly here in Britain, saying, oh, this is just a cover-up. This is just concocted. It's made up to try and cover up the fact that they've messed up the military withdrawal from Afghanistan and the fact they can't get everybody out. Sadly, it's been proved that it's real. I don't think I ever kind of doubted it myself, because I know that ISIS-K, or Islamic State Khorasan province, have carried out so many devastating attacks in the
Hallelujah, hallelujah. Can I be heard? Give me a 7 if I can be heard. Going down in the earth, y'all. Going down in the earth. Going down in this earth. All right. Keep your eyes peeled. Stay focused. We ain't got long to the fall of Babylon. Give me 7 I can be heard up in the chat. All right. I want to share all that has been going down. Well, Afghanistan serious business. All right. They killing collaborators. There's been an explosion right outside the airport. All right, the Taliban and took back over. And hey, look, it's going down. But we ain't surprised. Prophecy must be fulfilled. Must be fulfilled. So all praises, glory now to the Almighty, forever lives anointed beloved Son. In the hearts and minds of the faithful elect. All praises, glory, and honor. And we talking about the sinless one who's seated at the right hand of the Heavenly Father. Let's go ahead and get that correct. For anybody that think we playing games out there, good to see y'all in the building. All praises, all glory, all honor to the Most High. Forever live as anointed, beloved Son. Y'all see the title. Nazarene edition. This part 23. Is they gonna stop? We ain't stopped yet. By the grace of the Almighty, we gonna keep going. Truth gonna come out like a flood. I hope all the haters can swim. Shout out to the haters, jaw jackers, and naysayers. We love y'all too. All praises, glory, and honor. You understand? Right on for the free promo. We're going to keep it pushing. You understand? We're going to keep challenging our people to stop chewing on the dead flesh of animals. Stop throwing distilled spirits down your throat, which is that hard liquor. Stop smoking. And dedicate these vessels completely over to the Almighty. All right? We in these last, not the last days, not the last hours, not even the last minutes. We in the last seconds. Don't you think it's about time for you and us to totally dedicate everything that we are made of completely over to the Almighty? We owe him that. All right? We owe him that. And when you start challenging yourself to be like that, then you'll realize you'll start hearing from the Almighty more than you've heard from him ever in your life. All right? So yes, we're going to challenge our people. Stop chewing on the dead flesh of animals. All right? Yeah, stop throwing distilled spirits down your throat. That's that liquor or that hard drink. All right? And stop smoking. Stop smoking. All right? This vessel, the dwelling place, the temple of the Almighty, must be preserved and purged. All right? Now, that don't mean that you don't got to have faith and you ain't got to believe and you ain't got to keep commandments, and that don't mean none of that. Just saying level up. Take it a step further. Take it a step further. Totally dedicate yourself. Hey, what's up, Ira? Ira Awaken say no flesh, no alcohol, still working on the smoke, though. Hey, but you can do it. You can do it. I believe that, know that. All right? And that's our job. Our job is to challenge each other to be better, push each other to really bring forth that divinity, that Yah nature that is within you, that you was born with. All right? So, brother, we here to let you know, not only to help you, to pray for you, but also encourage you. You can do it. You can do it. Everybody on it, you can do it. All right? Shout out to my brother Yhwh, said he lost 10 pounds, no flesh. Hallelujah, bro. Hallelujah. You understand? Like, as you see, we not here to cast judgment on nobody. Brother Ira just said, I'm still struggling with the smoke. All right? Y'all hear me saying, you're damned. You're condemned. Nah, you understand? We here to encourage you. You can do it. You can do it. I mean, a lot of stuff got to do with fasting and prayer and meditation. You can do it. You can do it. Look at my Octil and the Yhwh. Look what he said. You know, these look, make sure y'all post all this, man. This is encouraging. All right, went from 249 to 204 in 2 months. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. All right, believe that, know that. All right, y'all, look, the fasting to get whatever vice there is, like Ira, such as that smoking, that fasting to get that right up off there. Right up off for you. All right, I'm here to tell you can be victorious, brother. All right, you can do it. Everybody listening, no matter what it is that you're battling, you can be victorious over it. Believe that, know that. Yeah, I went from 225 to 195. That's where I'm at now. I feel great. 195, a little bit like 2.5 months or something like that. Yeah, feel. I ain't gonna lie, I feel marvelous. You know what I mean? I feel marvelous, my brother. Praises. My Roger Washington said he lost 42 pounds. Look at that. Look at that. One thing you can't do, y'all, you can't argue with results. You can't argue with history, and you can't argue with results. The results are coming in. All right. So all praise, glory, and honor. I want YAHKANON that's in her mid-70s. I saw her on here already. YAHKANON right here, Robbie Dobson. All right. Totally reversed her diabetes, all fruit fast. Ain't even on the insulin shots no more. All right. So there's no way that anybody that's an antagonist or an enemy of ours can argue with the results. These are results. A lot of our people are plagued in this hour. All right. And y'all, all you gotta do is introduce your body to the right environment, and your body will heal. You are fearfully and wonderfully made. Believe that, know that. All right, who else got something? Line of YAH 260, 225. Bless up. Bless up. All praises. That's what I'm talking about. All praises. All right, Natasha Orr. Shout out to our Nazarene and Singing sisters. Lost 18 pounds in 1 month and no flesh and intermittent fasting. Yeah, the intermittent fasting will definitely do it. Definitely do it. But as you see, you get off that dead animal flesh, you stop chewing on the dead flesh of animals, and look what you see. See, so what we've been challenging our people to do, y'all, is to walk the narrow path. It's the path you ought to walk, the narrow path, the path that the majority of everybody is not on. All right, including in this Israelite movement, this Israelite thing of all. Majority of the people ain't, because this take a high level of discipline, high level of dedication. All right, so I salute you, brothers and sisters, and y'all keep going. You understand? Y'all need prayer, reach out, email us, reach out, and let's get on the phone and bang against these devils. Believe that, no, that's one of my favorite things to do, is come against the adversary. All right. So this path is the narrow path. You've chosen the way of life, the deathless way. All right, the way of life. And it's very, very narrow. You understand? But I'm here to let you brothers and sisters know y'all not alone. You're never alone. You'd be surprised at how many brothers and sisters fell out of my life. As soon as I came outside busting, I came outside shooting. A lot of brothers and sisters, right? Regardless if they made themselves known publicly or just, we spiritual beings, so you can feel when somebody at odds with you. Feel it. All right. But it's a lot of more. Trip off how many people it is right now posting that in the chat. It's probably triple or quadruple more that ain't even posting. All right. So what we doing is we're pointing our people back to the beginning, pointing our people back to life. All right. And y'all, you can get up off any, like whatever you were plagued with. Emma Robbie Dobson, y'all, is in her mid-70s. Diabetic. I was one. All right. Was a diabetic. All right. Emma went on a fruit fast, y'all. And guess what? Totally reversed the diabetes. Like, to most people, diabetes is what? It's a death sentence. Hey. See, if you want to filter through the noise, ask yourself this. What is honor and humility teaching that's sinful? What's sinful? All right. People want to go and post old videos. Yeah, and I ain't taking none of them down, because the old videos, if you look at anything old or years ago, what I was saying, and you look at it now, what you gonna see? You gonna see growth. Yeah. So yeah, that's what's up. Keep posting the videos. Keep posting all of them. All right, because I ain't taking none of them down. And we're going to keep coming out and teaching and challenging our people to choose life. Choose it. All right? You don't got to put things in your body that cause taboo. All right? All right, you ain't got to do that. Especially in these age where these heathens is playing with diseases and manipulating germs and, vaccines, and they got patents on everything. Look, why is you putting things in your body that could be an enabler for any of this? Why would you do that? All right? Y'all, this is a war we are in. Your enemy has weaponized everything against you. All right? It's time to tap in. How do you tap in? All right? Just look, listen, and learn, because that's what we about in this. All right? I seen somebody else. My brother Kepha, what'd you say? You gain more brothers and sisters. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And that's the one thing you can't be afraid to lose. When the Most High convict you in your spirit to stand up and speak and to teach, you got to get that done. That got to get done. It don't matter what you got going on or how big your flock is, congregation, how much money you think, man, look, we got to speak on that ASAP. All right. So all praise and glory. Now I salute you, brothers and sisters. Right? Because when the shots start flying, then that's when you can tell who was real and who wasn't. Right? Who decided to say, you know what, let me slide on off. All right, and keep feeding this lust demon. Those that was like, bro, I feel you. Yeah, something in my spirit say what y'all saying is right. All right? It ain't even as deep as me showing you what's written. If what I said resonated with your spirit, you was like, yeah, that makes sense, because I was always wondering. Yeah, there we go. There we go. So all praises. My Lion of Yah. He said the Essene Gospel of Peace go hard body. Love that book. Yeah. The Essene Gospel of Peace, all 4 volumes. For y'all that don't know, it was not written by Edmund Bordeaux Sazeki. It was translated. All right. And these are hidden teachings of our Messiah and those that followed the way. The Essenes, the Nazarenes, those brothers. All right. Now that book right there is a practical guide. Like when you might tell somebody, tap into the spirit, brother, and get spiritual. And that book right there, or those books, which are 4 in 1 volume, is a practical guide on how to meditate and tap in. You see the word meditate in the scriptures all the time. You understand? But how do you meditate? That Essene Gospel of Peace go hard. And guess what? In the Essene Gospel of Peace, what they talking about? It come down to what you've been throwing down your throat. That's one of the main ways the adversary and the kingdom of darkness get authority over your body. It is. So yeah, that Essene Gospel of Peace, I read mine quite often. Quite often. All right. All right, let me see. My peace say, hey, Mally, imagine if you would have taken them ILD vids down, they would have really have a mouthful of noise. Yeah, no doubt. Shout out old vids, no doubt. Shout out to all the haters, jaw jackers, and naysayers. No doubt. No doubt. All right, but hey, it's what it is. I ain't taking nothing down. Let them stay up. Right? And the more people, or the more they speak about us, the more people come check us out and be like, you know what? Dang, what they saying wrong? And what they saying wrong? What sin are they teaching? All right, that's how you filter through the noise. Other than that, it's just people mad because they've been in agreement. They've been in agreement with the flesh pots for so long, y'all. That's what them suckers hiding. That's what them demons hiding at, believe it or not. So today we're gonna go to Matthew the 7th chapter first. We're gonna read about the narrow path. All right, we're gonna read about the narrow path, and then we're gonna go to Luke the 6th chapter, and we're gonna read about how we supposed to rejoice when people cast out our name as evil. All right, we're supposed to leap for joy because their fathers did the same thing to the real prophets of the Most High. All right, so we should be happy when people got our names in their mouth. Should be happy. Y'all be different if we was, hey, y'all go commit whoredom. Y'all go and, drink all the drink you want and get drunk and go to the strip club or, man, if I was you, I'd domestically violate your woman. And nah, we ain't teaching you to sin at all. All right, we actually challenging you and pushing you toward the hidden teachings of a Mashiach, the way of life, the narrow path. All right, which challenges you. Most of us Israelites have become comfortable. Put it that way. We're uncomfortable. We're uncomfortable. So when you like, put that down. Let's go ahead and vibrate higher, and fly higher. The Most High wants to show us more things, but we gotta let go. You understand? We gotta let go of that dead flesh of them animals. Let it go. Let's challenge each other to go ahead and level on up. And you start seeing, boy, all type of men. I'm talking about foaming at the mouth. You be all right, though. There's one thing I ain't going to do is stop. One thing I ain't going to do is stop. Maybe somebody else will stop and run out of gas, not over here. All right? Yeah, Atlanta. Yeah, that's all good. He said, man, I have to do tabernacle by myself. Atlanta G ain't messing with it. Hey, but look, even if you're by yourself, you're never alone. Believe that and know that. All right? Believe that and know that. I want to share something with y'all real quick. Let's get into this. Let's get into this Matthew real quick. Matthew 7, the narrow path. And then we're going to get into Peter's brother Kepha. We're going to get into Shimon Kepha, his writings. All right. As he was taught by Messiah himself. All right. As he was taught. And believe it or not. And that's the one thing that same gospel of peace, Nazarene Acts, and the gospel of the Nazarenes, when it come down to health and not eating the flesh and all that, all them line up. Now, how all them line up and they all different documents going back to the 1st century, coming from the first followers of MALAKIMAC. How all of them line up. All right. It's just the truth. All right. We're going to start right here in Matthew 7. All right. We're going to start at Matthew 7 and 6. Let me go ahead and share my screen real quick. And let's get her done. All right. Love y'all indeed and in truth. All right. Love y'all indeed and in truth. Let's get her done. Yeshua Allah. Bless up. What's going on? Shalom. Shalom. Yeah, that gospel of the Nazarene is revolutionary. I see why the men that's loaded up with them flesh pots, boy, they flipping through that deal trying to find everything they disagree with. And look, they so slow that everything they disagree with can be found in the Bible. Regardless if you believe it or not. Regardless if you believe the perspective, what they disagree with is in the Bible. All right? Now, the Bible's a library. It's a collection of books. It's not one book. All right? It has many different authors. It's over 80 books. 66 in your standard. Add the Apocrypha 14, that's 80 books. All right? So it's like over 80 books with, what we talking about? Over 50 authors. All right? Written at different times from different perspectives. Y'all, that's a library. All right? The Bible is not one book. All right? So, yeah, there's contradictions and conflicting reports in the Bible. The Bible is a library. There ain't a library in this world. You can look, go to any library and pick out 80 books on the same topic. And search through all them 80 books, and you tell me every bit of information in all 80 books line up exactly. You're going to find conflicting reports and contradictions in every last one of them books. That's just the truth. It's just the truth. The Bible is a library. It is not one book. How people, oh man, you making many books. The Bible is many books. What are you talking about? The Bible's many books. It's a library. All right. Then you got brothers that read the pseudepigraphers and all that. Pseudepigrapher, meaning the people that it's attributed to, more than likely y'all didn't even write it. All right. It's just, you know, later on in history, our people will write down tradition, oral tradition, and pin it to the 12 patriarchs. Pin it to Abraham. This is a testament of Abraham. And most of the brothers that got a problem with the gospel of the Nazarenes, y'all, they read the testament of Abraham. Well, in the testament of Abraham, it says Abraham lived to be 995 years old. You believe that? Where every other book about Abraham say he lived to be 175. The testament of Abraham in the pseudepigrapher, it straight tell you when the Most High sent the death angel to come, you know, get Abraham. Abraham rebuked the death angel. Said, I ain't ready to go yet. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but just to let you know, like all these things been written down. Some of y'all read the Testament of Solomon. That's in the pseudepigrapher. By how Solomon used demons to help him build the temple. The very temple that the Most High appeared to Solomon in and said, I accept this place. But the very men, and because a lot of them that studied with us over the years, they read the pseudepigrapher. Volume 1 and Volume 2. They read the lost books of the Bible, which is like the New Testament pseudepigrapher. All those books don't agree with each other. That's the point. That's the point. So, you know, you get, you know, we bring it out, and it's because we bringing it out, the Nazarene Acts and the, you know, the Clementine homilies and the Gospel of the Nazarenes and all that. All them other books, you've been reading other books. Oh, you're making many books. The Bible's many books. You see what I'm saying? It's just like the arguments that everybody have against what we're talking about. It don't hold up, y'all. Stop it. It don't hold up. All you got, everything that they're mad about and coming against y'all can be found in the Bible. Everything. All right. So if that's the case, then everything y'all coming against us for is hypocrisy at its finest. Believe that, know that. All right. What you missed, Super Swag? Super Swag said, I must have missed that one. What you missed, huh? What you missed? Let me know. All praise and glory now to the Most High, y'all. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up, Matthew the 7th chapter. But just to let everybody know, you know, a lot of things, you know, that's in our history don't line up. So, all right, well, you got to get back to hearing the voice of the Almighty. Like, what makes sense to you? What resonates with your spirit? Malachi can't make you believe nothing. All right, Malachi can't make you believe nothing. It's the truth. What do you read? Oh, brother, you picking and choosing. Absolutely. You've been doing it. You've been picking and choosing. What you think the spirit of discernment is? Spirit of discernment is what? The ability to pick and choose between what is what, right, and what is wrong. You've been doing that your whole life. The truth be told, you do it with the Bible too. There are things written in the Bible. All right. There are things written in the Bible that men read and women read that they necessarily don't agree with. All right, that's the truth. That's the truth. And we can bring a lot of that stuff out. You'll be like, dang, okay. All right, I can read something in the Bible, and because it don't resonate with your spirit, you just, what you do? You just keep reading. You just keep reading, read over it, because it just don't, look, it may not be the time for you to receive it, if you ever receive it. All right, so any argument anybody got with anything that we bringing out, all right, the gospel of the Nazarenes or whatever, right? They are searching the front of the Gospel of the Holy 12, which is basically the same book. Is certain, it's worded a little different in certain places, but the Gospel of the Holy 12, and whatever they trying to bring out. But what I done found out, everything they got a problem with can be found in the Bible, regardless if you accept it or not. That's all it comes down to. Either you accept what's being said or you don't. And if you don't, you got the right to keep it moving. That's it. It's that simple. It's not even that hard. If it don't resonate with your spirit, keep it moving. And the truth about this, y'all, everybody that fancy themselves are coming against us, don't none of them agree. Don't none of them agree. And most of those men I knew and know, don't none of them men agree about. I'm talking about a gang of stuff they don't agree about. They united to come against us. And they're going to fail anyway. Because they're attacking out of anger. You understand? We putting this out. Look, we could have found all this out and kept this to ourselves. We put the message out in love. All right? And we are convicted by the unction and utterance of Ruach, the spirit of the Most High, to let his people know, hey, look, get this together before it's too late. So we're going to do that. All right? And going to keep doing it. All praise glory. Now, YAH'KI Ben Yahrael, that's the Nehemiah Thomas on Facebook, y'all. This brother right here. All right, he done put up a few live videos the past few days. See, her daughter Sarah called me today. She got my number off of YouTube, and we talked, and she said that what you just said, and she read a lot of things didn't make sense exactly. You just got to be real with yourself. Be real with yourself. Yeah, Super Swag. Read that Testament of Solomon in the pseudepigrapha. It'll blow your mind. Solomon used, according to that document, Solomon used demons to help build the temple of the Most High in Jerusalem. Yep. JEDADIYAH, exactly. Asmodeus was captured. Just so happened that's the same demon that was on the Toby. On the Toby. You know what I mean? On Tobias, and or not on Tobias, that was on his wife that he was gonna marry. All right. What if I don't believe it and still eat meat? What if I don't believe it and still don't eat meat? Am I damn? What if I don't believe it? What you don't believe what, Troy? What if I don't believe it? Oh, you talking about what we bringing out and still don't eat meat? Am I damn? If you don't believe what we bringing out and stop eating flesh, are you asking, are you damn? If you don't believe but stop eating flesh, nah, man, I ain't read nothing about you being damn, brother. I ain't read nothing about you being damned. You know what I mean? If you continue in iniquity, sin. Now, if you being convicted in your spirit to stop chewing on the dead flesh of animals, right? That meaning that's the voice of the Most High telling you to stop. and you don't stop, then you're sinning in that case, yeah. If you know to do better and don't do it. If you know to do better and don't do it, it's sinful. Absolutely. Because you're going against the knowledge of righteousness. You're going against the voice of the Most High that's telling you, hey, look, stop. All right? So anybody that's listening, you're going to be damned if you continue on in iniquity. If you keep going, if you continue to go against the voice of the Almighty. All right? And a lot of times the Most High speak to you, and what he speaks to you ain't even in no book. Ain't in no book. He commanding you to go do something and do this and get it done. And we second guess that and stop listening to his voice, we gonna have to answer for that. So yeah, you will be damned if you don't listen to the voice of the Almighty. All right, or if you don't take heed to the voice of the Almighty. I hope that helped people. All right, where we at? That's right. Only the Spirit of the Almighty can lead us into all truth, for sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. And the big mystery a lot of people don't want to realize is this, y'all. All right. The totality of the new covenant is this, that no man teach you. All right. Why? Because the Most High's words or his commands will be written on your mind and in your heart. So the biggest mystery of this whole thing is this, y'all. You are the book of the Almighty. Why would I say that? Because his words are written in you, or supposed to be written in you. We have no need that any man should teach you. We should be able to come together, fellowship, glean off one another based off how the Spirit is dealing with each other. All right. And grow in faith. And grow in faith. All right. But you don't need me to teach you not to steal, not to murder, not to commit adultery. You already know. His commands are written in you. So you're the book. That's the mystery. Here you go, flip it. You understand? You can't look, y'all. Look. That's been through a printing press. Even the books that we bringing out, they've been through printing presses. All right. You born with everything you need to know. You just reminded of stuff as you grow older. Education comes from within. True education. It comes from within because you already are programmed with everything you need to know when you're born. All right. You just got to activate and be reminded of what it is. You already got your answers. You are the book. Here you go all the time. Oh, I done turned over a new chapter in my life. New chapter. It's 39's now. Chapter 39 of my life. Here you go, chapter. Yeah, book chapters are in books. And if the words of the Most High are written in you, then that makes you his book. Well, guess what? It's time for you to start what? Listening to the voice of the Almighty. All right. What's written down is just a witness against you. Because by the time you read it, you usually be like, you know what? I already knew that. All right. Something told me about that. Which means something told you. The voice of the Almighty told you what it was. All right. So yeah, y'all, again, look, can't nobody tamper with the voice of the Most High. All right. And you'll know it's his voice. You know it's his voice because it'll be all in righteousness. It'll be all in right. It will be nothing because, again, even though there are things written against the Most High like this. God it created evil and does evil. But in your I was talking to a sister earlier today, right? And I asked her, I say, does the God we serve create evil and does he do evil? She off the rip said, no. Right? I say, I'm glad you answered like that. You know why? Because it's written actually in the Bible that the Most High creates evil and does evil. All right? But when you get over it, and you start hearing the voice of the Almighty, you start dealing with Messiah. Messiah say, ye are of your father, the devil. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth. And when he speak of a lie, he speak of his own. So what did the Messiah do? He assigned evil to the devil, not to his father. You see? But the spirit that's in my sister, who I was talking to earlier, off the rip, she like, I don't care. You can show me a million Bible verses that say God creates evil and does evil. I'm not going to believe that. I said, that's where you're supposed to be at. See, without you knowing the character of the Almighty or hearing his voice, and anybody can flip and show you anything and you'll believe it. And you'll believe what is written over what you being convicted of her. You see, there are many things written against your God. Absolutely. Absolutely there is. All right. But if you know the essential character of the Almighty, you ain't going to be fooled by that. All right. Because once you believe that he creates evil and does evil, guess what, y'all? You're calling your God evil. And the very attributes that apply to the devil that the Messiah said, when it applies to the devil, you're giving to your God. Yo, Yah. Yo, mighty one. So that means everything evil that happens, guess what? You got to eat that and say, yo, God did that. You got to eat that. You see? So, yeah, you know, that's where it is, y'all. Listen to the voice of the Almighty because he been dealing with you, y'all. If it rub your spirit the wrong way, run. Nah, that don't even sound right. Don't even sound right. All right? All praises, glory now to the Most High. What my ox say, bring it out. Wow, I'll say that again. We are the word. Yes, yes, you are the word. You are the book of the Most High. His words are written in you, right? I mean, that's for anybody going on heads. Yeah, I claim the new covenant. All right. Well, that means ain't nobody gonna be out here teaching. That's the point. Should nobody be teaching you? Don't nobody need to teach you, boy, about keeping the Sabbath day, not stealing. All right. Not killing, not committing adultery, not bearing false witness, not covet, honor your father and mother. Who got to teach you that? You don't know that? That's right. My ox say right here, stay away from flesh and blood. Believe that. Believe that, especially if you already being convicted. Like on the real, that ain't no way in the world all this stuff coming out. You understand? And you not convicted on it. All right. You either feel what we saying or you're totally against it. One way or the other. It don't go any other way. That's the beautiful thing about spiritual warfare. There ain't no gray area. There ain't no neutral ground in none of this. It ain't. Either is or it ain't. So it ain't no way in this earth. We've been bringing all this out. And anybody been listening and you don't feel a certain way, it's impossible for you to be like, I feel both sides. Nah. That's impossible. That's impossible. You either over there or over here. All right. And as your brother, I'm going to chat. Look, stop eating that. Stop drinking that. Stop smoking that. You know what I mean? Let's go ahead and dedicate these vessels to the Almighty. You know what I mean? It's time to go ahead and live. Literally live. All right. So all praise and glory now to the Most High. Let's go to this Matthew real quick. Yeah, I'm going to go to Matthew 7. Share my screen. Good to see y'all in the building. Bless up. My brother Ock, we're in the building. That's right, KN. You see what Ock say? I'm now at peace knowing that Yah does not do these evil things. Exactly. But you want to have a brother, a congregation, or a camp, Negro precept. Shall there be evil in the city and your God ain't done it? Come on, man. Stop it. All right, let me go ahead and get you off the screen real quick. All right. All right, let's pull this on up. Let's get into it. All right, good to see y'all in the building. Bless up. All right, Matthew the 7th chapter, we'll be going first. Now, let's make sure we eat. Let's make sure we eat. We're here to eat. We're here to play with nobody about nothing. Let's go ahead and throw down. All right. Shout out to all the haters, jaw jackers, and naysayers. We love y'all too. All right. Matthew 7:6. Give not that which is holy unto the dogs. All right. Neither cast ye your pearls before swine, lest they trample them under their feet and turn again and rend you. Y'all, that's something we need to develop and develop quick. That's a commandment that the Messiah has given us. All right. It got to a point to where I just had to be like when the voice of the Most High told me, stop sharing that in that WhatsApp group. They're sitting there and watch them tell on themselves. But don't share not another video. Don't share another article. Don't share nothing in that WhatsApp group. Once he told me that, all correspondence stopped. We got to learn it, y'all. Don't be giving with this holy, this set apart understanding to dogs or somebody that's immoral. All right? Or don't cast these pearls of that which is holy before the pigs. Because in the spirit, anybody that's rejecting will be saying, y'all, in spirit, they are dogs and they are swine. Why do I say, y'all, we not saying nothing sinful. There's nothing sinful being said. Lest they trample them under their feet, all right, and turn again and rend or tear you. That's what's happening. All right, so it gets to a point where it's cut off. All right. I've been told to come and tell you what it is, and that's it. That's it. Prayer and the golden rule. Ask and it shall be given you. Understand that, y'all. All right. The Heavenly Father want to bless every last one of you. Every last one of us. But are you asking? Right? Are you in your prayer closet? Are you meditating? Are you fasting? All right? Are you outside in the sanctuary? Ask and it shall be given you. Seek and you shall find. Knock and it shall be opened unto you. For everyone that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. Understand this, meaning with whatever blessings that you have prayed about, believe and know they're on their way. Whatever prayers you can offer to the Almighty, believe and understand they will be answered. All right? Believe that, know that. It doesn't benefit us at all to be out here doubting the power of the Almighty. Ask him, all right, in full faith. Messiah assigned you to your prayer closet, didn't he? He didn't assign you to 1,000,000 precepts. He said, go into that prayer closet. He left you the spirit of truth, which will guide you into all truth. Well, hold on, I thought you already had all truth. You got the prophets and the Torah, right? You got all the precepts, right? No, he assigns you the Holy Spirit, Ruach HaKodesh, the Ruach. That fiery Holy Spirit he left you, which will guide you into all truth, will remind you of everything that he taught you. You need to be out here defending the Messiah's doctrine. Because obviously what he taught was totally different than those who had the Torah in his day. Why y'all think they were trying to kill him and eventually did murder him? Because his understanding and his teaching of the Torah was night and day with the scribes, the Pharisees, the Sadducees, the Sanhedrin, the priests, night and day. All right? He assigns you to your prayer closet, meaning one-on-one time. That's that intimate time, that fellowship, that communion with the Spirit. But most of us busy, buried under Satan's yoke, busy. All right? In these times, y'all, look, you need every opportunity that you get or that you have, every bit of downtime you get, you need to be in communion with the Holy Spirit, communion with the Spirit of the Most High. All right? Verse 9, or what man is there of you? Or what man is there of you whom if his son asks bread, will he give him a stone? Or if he asks a fish, will he give him a serpent? If ye then being evil, know how to give good gifts unto your children, how much more shall your Father which is in heaven give good things to them that ask him? Y'all, that's a promise. based off the testimony of our holy Messiah, the sinless one. You got access to the throne in heaven. Use it. Use it. All right. Verse 12. Therefore, all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them. For this is the law and the prophets. Meaning, this is the whole summary of the Torah and the Nabim, the law and the prophets. The whole summary, the moral of the story is this. Whatever you want that men do to you, do to them. Whatever you don't want them doing to you, don't do it to them. Simple, ain't it? Simple, ain't it? The golden rule and the service of the Most High is the name of the class today. The golden rule and the service of the Most High. All right? Now, the Messiah had 12 ordained, appointed apostles that he breathed Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, on, and those 12 turned into 120 by the day of Shavuot, the Feast of Weeks. And 120 of them received the fiery tongues from on high. All right? They got filled and overflowed with that fiery Ruach HaKodesh, and they went out and conquered. They went out and conquered and waged war against the forces of darkness. All right? The moral of the story is this. Whatever you would that men should do to you, do that to them. All right? Or the flip side, whatever you don't want anybody doing to you, you don't do it. You don't want nobody breaking in your house, you don't break in nobody's house. You see that? Y'all, it's that simple. And that's the moral of the story. That's the moral of the whole Bible, the law and the prophets. All right? The narrow and wide gates. And this is why we went here. Enter ye in at the straight gate. For wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. And many there be which go in thereat. My Nazarene and Shane brothers and sisters, y'all have chosen the narrow path. The narrow path, right? We was already conscious Israelites, understanding we supposed to keep the commands and rock with the faith of a Mashiach and all that, right? But the rabbit hole went deeper, didn't it? And you've chosen the narrow path. You've chosen the way of life. You've chosen the deathless way. All right? And you're going to be a guardian of creation, a guardian of this earth. Shomrei haaretz, guardians of the earth. It's just what it is. Right? You've answered the higher calling. All right? And I'm here to encourage you to keep pushing on toward perfection. Keep it going. Keep it going. You can do it. All right? Me personally, I like being against everybody. All right? Look at all them over there. Everybody against you. I just see more body bags. That's just the warrior in me. I just see more body bags. A whole bunch of people joining hand in hand to come against what we bringing out. And what we bringing out is pure life. And I don't see an army. I see a whole bunch of body bags. That's all I see. I'm just telling y'all the truth. All right, but many go in thereat because the broad way is easy. To tell you the truth, the Israelite thing that got easy. I mean, okay, once you understand what day the Sabbath day is, and we know pork, shrimp, crab, and lobsters, man, women put on a dress and a head wrap. Men, everybody throwing their fringes and their garments. Memorize about 10, 20 scriptures while you out street teaching. And okay, all right, where else is this going? Now watch this. You've chosen the narrow way. Watch this. Because straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life. And few there be that find it. Count yourself blessed, brothers and sisters. You've chosen the narrow path. Yeah, full of turmoil, full of hurdles and ups and downs and bumps in the road. And you understand? And sometimes you truck through them hurdles, sometimes you jump over them. But you resolve to get through. You resolve to win. You see? So I salute you, brothers and sisters. Stand strong. And believe you got brothers and sisters over here at Honor and Humility that will pray for you, stand in the gaps with you, encourage you when you're feeling down. You understand? Let's keep going. All right? Let's keep going. We here to glean off each other. We're not looking for students. See, these men mad because their students are emptying out of their so-called Knesset's or they so-called schools. They mad at that because they need students dependent on them. But when a brother like me come out and say, look, we're not looking for those students. We good. We're looking to fellowship with the brothers and sisters, glean off one another. Now I can learn based off how the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, is dealing with you. Get together and glean. You understand? And build each other up in faith. Pray for one another. And come against these witches out here in these cities. You understand? And defend the poor and the fatherless and all the oppressed. Yeah. Luke 6:20. Luke 6:20. All right, then we're going to get into some of Peter's writings. If you understand what I'm saying so far, give me a Yahoo up in the chat. All right. JEDADIYAH, yep. JEDADIYAH say, I know it's in the Gospel of the Nazarenes. Messiah fed 5,000 with 6 loaves and 7 clusters of grapes, no fish or meat. Yep, chapter 29, yep, 1 through 18. You say your stuff looking like a what? A bike lane, huh? Yeah, the narrow path. You've chosen the way of life. All right, you've chosen the way of life. Believe that, know that. All right, and it's gonna be narrow, but look, y'all, just like the Most High told Elijah, you're never alone. All right, never believe you're alone. I was talking to a brother yesterday, I believe it was, or today. He was believing he was alone. Bro, you ain't never alone. Send your contact information. You understand? We'll keep you in the loop of what we got going on, most definitely, but you're never alone. Never believe that. All right. The Beatitudes, and he lifted up his eyes on his disciples and said, blessed be ye poor, for yours is the kingdom of the Almighty. Blessed are ye that hunger now, for you shall be filled. Blessed are ye that weep now, for you shall laugh. Blessed are ye, look at this. Blessed are ye when men shall hate you. Y'all need to highlight this. This is, you need this. This is spiritual fuel, spiritual gas. You need this. Blessed are you, not cursed, but blessed are you when men shall hate you and when they shall separate you from their company and shall reproach you and cast out your name as evil for the Son of Man's sake. Rejoice ye in that day and leap for joy. See, he says a blessing when everybody separates you from their company and cast out your name as evil for the Messiah's sake. Y'all, we revealing the hidden teachings of a Messiah. We're hidden teachings of Messiah. Right? So any slander, backbiting that's come is for his sake. So what are we to do? To get mad, to get angry? I'm depressed. So-and-so don't like me no more. I've been blocked, whatever. They making videos about me again. Good. Rejoice ye in that day. And then he don't just say rejoice. He also says, and jump for joy. Supposed to be Toyota kicking around here. And leap for joy, for behold, your reward. Huh? Your reward is great in heaven. For in the like manner did their fathers unto the prophets. Everybody coming against us is showing that they are the children of them same Pharisees, scribes, Sadducees, chief priests, and temple guards that came against our Messiah. They did that to their fathers, did that to the real prophets of the Most High, meaning they are the children of their fathers. And what did Messiah say? Ye are of your father who? Slick Willie himself, the devil. So when men and women come against us for bringing out a message, y'all, that's pure, that look, y'all, it's about life. It's about God and life. All right? It's about being sinless. When the world come at you for a message like that, you know you're on holy ground at that point, right? Come on home. Come on home. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. So I want to go there to show the brothers, jump for joy. Jump for joy. You know what I mean? I be smiling. Ain't gonna lie, I feel marvelous. Ain't gonna lie, I feel marvelous. You know, I feel marvelous. All right, so look, let's get into this real quick. We about to go into, for y'all that ain't got it. All right, and I suggest y'all brothers and sisters get these. If y'all ain't got it, these right here. We about to go into the Clementine homilies. For y'all that don't know, 1st century. All right, meaning this was written during the life of the apostles. This is Peter's journal, Kepha, Shimon Kepha. All right. Clement was a convert to the Nazarene way and followed Peter around while he was doing battle with Simon Magus and recorded all his battles. Okay, so we're gonna be going into page 130 in here. All right, this right here is called it. So that's the Clementine homilies. Y'all go ahead and get on Amazon. My one brother told me all the Nazarene books going up in price now. I said, yeah, because all our brothers and sisters been on Amazon buying these deals. So now they shooting the prices up. So get these if you can. If not, look for the PDFs. But you need these. All right. I was looking at some heathens that teach a Yale course on the New Testament, and they brought this up. They were like, oh, yeah, the Clementine homilies. I say, good night. How long y'all done known about this? Because the Israelites when we show Israelites this, they get pissed. This deal right here, boy, look, listen to me. Peter was very well trained by the Messiah. You understand? And how to defend his teachings. Y'all, this is curriculum. You need this. You need this, and you need this right here. Nazarene Acts of the Apostles, or the recognitions of Clement. All right. What didn't make it in her, a lot of it is the same writing, but what didn't make it in her, they put the rest of it in her. All right, y'all, combined, look how thick that is. Y'all, this is Peter's journal. Look at this. It'll blow your mind what's up in there. I'm like, wow. All right, so we're going to be going into the Clementine homilies, y'all, which is Peter's journal. These are 1st century documents. All right. Also, if we got time, if not, we're gonna go real hard for class more. I found some more ancient testimonials of the Nazarene way off the mouth of some church fathers. This specific church father was born in the middle of the 1st century, so before the year 100, and he died in the beginning of the 2nd century. All right. So when I tell you these things go back, and look, what was coming off his mouth is in chapter 62 in her. I said, wow, look at that. Look at that. All right, so what we bringing out, y'all, is 1st century documentation. So what we bringing out is older than the Bible that you have. All right, so it's a beautiful thing. All right, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, trip off this. How? Like, we got the prophecy in Jeremiah about how the Gentiles will come to us from the ends of the earth and say they've inherited lies and all that. And here we go getting simple, thinking every heathen, no matter what nation they brought up, every heathen is going to come to us and say, I learned lies, you man of God. I've learned lies. Teach me. That ain't what's happening. You know what's happening? They frisbeeing your records out in these last hours. The Vatican fumbling everything out. From the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls, the earth spewing your history out. All right? They spewing it out there. And it's wild because what we believe, for the most part, y'all, indoctrination is running on automatic now. For the most part, when you show our people the better way, they be like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, that's many books. Y'all, the Bible, many books, 80. Most y'all probably ain't got 80 books in your whole house. How you think the heathen is going to admit to you that they've inherited lies and come to you from the ends of the earth? Y'all, they going to start releasing your information. That's what's happening. So count yourself blessed, right? Jump for joy in these hours. All praise and glory now to the Most High. All right, Keely, what you say? Let me see. I feel like the gospel of peace, gospel of Nazarenes and Nazarene Acts of the Apostles should be the New Testament. Take out Paul. Take out Paul's letters. Hey, my sister Keely be on Facebook banging, baby. Hey, I don't disagree with you, though. I don't disagree with you. You understand? All right? Like, on the real, when you really do your research and get down into it, you're going to be like, good night. Good night. That right there, you understand? Oh, wait. It's a nuclear bomb. It's like the gamma ray. You got it. All right? So, you know, when we go live, we're going to be going through these. We're going to be going through these documents right here because it's very well needed. All right? Clementine homilies, Nazarene Acts, Gospel of the Nazarene, and like my sister Keela said, the Essaying Gospel of Peace. All right? Which is a practical guide. It actually shows you how to tap in. All right? Shows you how to, you know, meditate and quiet your mind. You understand? To receive higher understanding and all that. Yeah, it shows you how to, because there's forces all around you, or spirits or angels all around you. And that's just there to do you service. All right? To do you service. It tell you that in the book of Psalms. The angels are there to serve you. All right? Looks like the camel variant. Praise. So look, let's get into this real quick, and then we might get into some of that saying gospel of peace tonight too. If not, all that's gonna be for tomorrow. All right, we're gonna go hard body tomorrow. It might be a 5-6 hour class. The most I say the same. All right. That's right, Iman. Iman be knowing. Y'all, for y'all don't know, Iman Set Apart Living actually was in theology school. All right. And they actually showed up. They actually showed her the conflicts and the contradictions. They trained them up in it. Y'all get in touch with Iman. She'll let you know. Also, the bomb recipes. Get with Iman. She'll let you know. All right. My YAHKI, I just seen you up here. Yeah. See, a lot of people don't know this. James and Paul was bitter enemies. James is the Messiah's brother, biological brother, his little brother by like 2 years. All right, and he was the one left in charge of the Messiah's movement. He was in charge of every assembly in Messiah. He even had authority over Paul. He told Paul that, hey, this is what you teach. Paul started doing his own thing. And he started sending shots. All right, that's a battle. That's a battle that all the scholars know about that battle. It's only the Negro that don't know. But all the scholars know. It's only the Hebrew Israelite who don't know. All the scholars know that the battle that shaped Christianity is between James and Paul. All right. Now, who you going to believe? Who you going to roll with? The Messiah's brother, who knew him in the flesh, knew him after the flesh, who had the Ruach HaKodesh breathed on him, who was one of the 120 who was up in the upper room, who got the fiery tongues, who stood up and gave a judgment on Paul and them in Acts 15. Ain't in Acts 21. And according to Paul's own mouth, James is the Lord's brother, is the Messiah's brother. You understand? But Paul got to a point where he was like, I don't feel like I'm under that authority at all. So he started writing certain things down and sending shots. And James responded. James was even sending men at him. Read Galatians, the 2nd chapter. Certain men sent by James. Yeah, it's a lot. But when you get into it, especially in the front of the Clementine homilies, you understand? Matter of fact, I'm gonna show that. I'm glad you said it. Let me show that first. I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show y'all in the beginning of this. All right. Who was the authority? All right. We all know that Peter was given the keys to the kingdom. You got to ask yourself this. Why did Peter have to check in with James? We're going to go there first, then we're going to go to page 130. Let me go ahead and share the screen, y'all. All right. Let's get it. I'm glad you brought that up, just in case anybody think we playing. And again, we went all the way back in history and found what we need to find. All right. So let's get it done. All right. I'm going to do the entire screen. Blah. Share that. All right. Let me share some of this. Shout out to the haters, jaw jackers, and naysayers. All right. Well, we just gonna go right to homily 7. Before we do that, I want to go to page 1 and page 6. All right. Go to page 1. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got here. All right. Let's see what we got here. Get y'all together. I'll show y'all something. It was very well. And look, y'all, this is off the mouth of Peter. This is off the mouth of Clement. In the Gospel of Thomas, it says the same thing. All right. The Gospel of the Nazarenes, it says the same thing. The leader of the Messiah's movement, all right, was his little brother James, Yaakov. All right. You ever wonder why the disciples in their writings, for the most part, all right, it's not in the Bible for the most part. Let me see if this is right here. I'll show y'all something. Let's go ahead and make this large so y'all can see. Now that you making that up. Okay, all right, I understand. Most people think we making stuff up. Let me scroll on up. Bye. Y'all need to get this because it's well known. If you want to deal with your belief from a historical standpoint, y'all, you need to know what you believe in, right? Most I ain't got you out here on blind faith. You ain't out here on blind faith, is you? So let's get into it. Let's see. Let's see. All right, let me blow this up so y'all can see. So this is in the beginning of the Clementine homilies, all right? And this is the epistle of Kepha to Yaakov, or the epistle of Peter to James. All right? Hopefully y'all can see that. Yeah, Paul looking at Antioch. So not Peter, but Paul Antioch. Yeah. Yeah. So look at this right here. All right. Is that clear to y'all? Can y'all see that? Let me know if y'all can't see that. All right. So this right here says the epistle of Peter to James. All right. Now look at the beginning of this. I want to show y'all this. All right. James is the one that was in the authority. It is not Paul. All right. Paul started rebelling and did his own thing, started establishing his own communities. A lot of men don't want to hear that all. You against Paul. You understand? But if Paul went against the order, then he's off. I mean, I don't even mean everything you read from him is wrong. You understand? There are some things that you can glean from him as well, but that ain't good enough. If the man started going against the order that was established by Messiah himself, you understand, then he's off. And James or Yaakov and Peter and them, they put the Gentiles who wanted to believe, whether you're talking about real Gentiles or Israelites in a Gentile mindset. Everybody had to come up under a strict regimen, a very disciplined regimen. You see, but Paul basically allowed the Gentiles to just keep on doing what they're doing. Now look at what it says right here. It says Peter, Kepha to James, Yaakov. Look at this, y'all. The master and bishop of the Holy Church, under the Father of all, through Yahushua HaMashiach, which is peace always. What is Peter saying right here? Peter is acknowledging that the authority over the Messiah's congregations or movement is James. Look what he say, the Lord and bishop, the master and Mabakir, bishop of what? The Holy Church. The set apart assembly. All the congregations in the Mashiach. All right. These letters are in the beginning of the homilies, the Clementine homilies. Y'all need this. All right. This is page 1 right here. All right. We on page 1. All right. James was the authority. Even Peter, who was given the keys to the kingdom, guess who he had to check in with? Read the book of Acts, Acts the 12th chapter. After Peter gets let out of jail miraculously by an angel, he had to go check in with James. because James was given the authority. And after James, it was his brother Simon. Yeah. Yeah, some call him Simon the Zealot. There's a lot going on. It's a lot of history we're going to be bringing out. Y'all going to be like, wow. Like a few of the disciples was actually the Messiah's blood brothers. Then they all had a cousin named John the Baptist who was radical as well. Their whole family was revolutionary. Their whole family was about this life. Lifelong dedicated. It was an honor to even be a partaker of that spirit because, you know, that Roman beast did what he could to pick off all these brothers. You mean to tell me in these last hours, this spirit is resurrected in this earth? And brothers and sisters are turning back to the Most High in droves. Count yourself blessed. So if you understand that James is the authority of the new covenant after the Messiah left the earth, James is the one that he left in charge. YAHKENOELAZAR, James the righteous, they call him. If you understand that, give me a 7 up in the chat. Y'all, and the more you read in history, the more you find out. All the historians know. All the church fathers know. I'm talking about the church fathers who were responsible with collecting what's called your New Testament. They even knew James was the one in charge. But the Nazarene way of life didn't fit their agenda. The writings of Paul did, though. Y'all see that? We can't make none of this up. I see y'all got the 7 in there. All right. Wait. All praises. All praises. Yeah, they're going to get mad, y'all, but they'll be all right. All right, so now from here, notice this is the letter of Kepha to Yaakov, a letter of Peter to James. We all listening right now understand that James was the leader and the authority. All right? All right, let's drop that. Let's go over to page 6. All right, I got y'all. Let's go over to page 6. Hold on. Computer jamming up a little taste. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to show y'all that before we... Or should I just go to the actual page number? Let me do it like that. Computer moving a little slow. Y'all forgive your brother. Okay, here we go. Yeah, they actually were putting the Gentiles who wanted to believe under a strict and a very disciplined regimen. You can just be out here eating what you wanted to eat and worshiping how you wanted to worship and just basically living your old life. And as long as somebody didn't tell you it's sacrificed to an idol, you all good. Nah, where you get that from? Well, nobody got to tell you it's sacrificed to an idol for it to be sacrificed to an idol. What did you mean? They got to tell you it's sacrificed to an idol. Nah. And as y'all going to see, when we get into this, y'all going to see exactly why we saying this. All right. All right. Now I want to go over here to Clement's letter to James. And look how he addressed James. She'll be coming up in a second, y'all. This deal running slow for some reason. Knows what they say, Ante-Nicene Christian Library, meaning before the Council of Nicaea, these writings, right? Before the Council of Nicaea, right? Before 325 AD. Hold on, y'all. Trip. Get on up there. This is what I'm looking for right here. Wow. Got it. Let it load on up and let's get it. Nah, man, what is that? We need the beginning of this deal. Nah, I'm looking for the beginning, man. Hold on. Right there. See if that's it. See if this is it right here. Y'all hold on, bear with your brother for a second. I got you. Trust me. All right. Taking me back to the record, the very beginning. Let's try that. I want to show y'all this. Man, I do not know why this deal acting like that. The epistle of Clement to James. Okay, we almost there. I want the beginning of it though. Bye. Here we go. Here we go. All right, this goes into Peter's martyrdom and all that. All right, now look at this right here, y'all. Look at this right here. Now, let's get it done. Now, this right here, Epistle of Clement to James. Clement to James, the Yaakov, the master, and the bishop of bishops, who rules Jerusalem, the holy church of the Hebrews, and the churches everywhere. The holy church of the Hebrews, who rules Jerusalem. James was running. Look, James and them had, the Nazarenes had control over the Temple Mount within a few weeks after the Messiah died, because the movement went from 120 brothers and sisters, y'all, to over 8,000 Nazarenes baptized to this way of life. We outnumbered the Pharisees and all them. We had the rulership. We had the rulership, who rules Jerusalem, the holy church of the Hebrews, and the churches everywhere, excellently founded by the providence of Yah, with the elders and deacons and the rest of the brethren. Peace always. Y'all see this? You see that? Clement let it be known. James got the authority. He rules Jerusalem. He ruled the holy church of the Hebrews and all the churches everywhere. Why you think Paul eventually had to come check in? You got to check in. What you on? Yeah. So I'll make sure y'all get into this. Y'all, it's beautiful reading. You know, and it brings a lot of clarity to any confusion that's out here. Yeah, everybody ain't qualified to teach. It's just the truth. Everybody's not. So what we gonna do, y'all? We about to get the seventh homily. All right. We about to read about the golden rule and the service of the Most High. That's what we about to read about. All right. Let me see what else they got for me over here. Now, hold on, y'all. That's page 340. That ain't what I'm looking for. You know what? Let me do it like this. Got you. I got something for them. So you had to get there. And before we get done with this, we gonna go show what Peter ate himself. He on record here telling you what he ate. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people think this stuff a game, man. Like, look, we've been called to bring this out and let y'all know. Stop chewing on dead animal flesh. Stop it. All right? And that's the challenge. It ain't like we can make you do nothing, but we gonna challenge you in these last hours. All right? Stop chewing on the dead carcasses of animals. You're going to see why I'm saying that real soon. Watch this. I got you. Here I go right here. It's pulling up right now. There we go. All right, let's get into this. All right. Name of the class is Nazarene edition 23. All right. For y'all that don't know, in this Nazarene Acts or this Clement homilies, Yaakov James sends Peter out to battle Simon Magus. All right. Simon Magus was one of the main enemies of the Messiah's message. All right. And he was very well versed in the scriptures. He knew about the conflicts, the contradictions, and the tamperings. Peter did too. But the Messiah still showed and left a blueprint on how to defend his teachings. All right. So we've been going over this every class. All right, y'all, this curriculum, you need to know this. If you're going to defend this way of life, you got to know this. All right. So homily 7. All right, homily 7. All right, where we at? Okay, we all good? I don't know why it look blurry on my phone. Maybe that's just the phone or something. Hopefully y'all can see that. Yeah, if that's clear, y'all give me a 7 up in the chat. I want to make sure everything clear. It's on my computer, it's clear. Y'all, it's plenty. It's plenty. Honey, yeah, all you gotta do is link with EMA. We ain't trying to hear all that. All right, Peter addresses the people. All right, so Peter has been sent out on a mission to destroy Simon Magus. All right, with the full, unadulterated truth that the Messiah taught him. All right, homily 7. Peter addresses the people. And on the 4th day of our stay at Tyre, Peter went out about daybreak, and there met him not a few of the dwellers round about, very many of the inhabitants of Tyre itself, who cried out and said, Yah, through you have mercy upon us. Yah, through you heal us. And Peter stood on a high stone that all might see him, and having greeted them in a Elohim or godly manner, thus began. For y'all who got the Clementine homilies, we on page 130. All right. Reason of Simon's power. Simon, y'all, Simon Magus. All right. Simon Magus, or Simon the magician. You read about him in Acts the 8th chapter. But y'all, Acts chapter 8 don't do this battle no justice. All right. Y'all, they was battling for years. For years. All right. Reason of Simon's power. Yah, who created the heavens and the whole universe, is not one occasion for the salvation of those who would be saved. Wherefore, let no one in seeming evils rashly charge him with unkindness to man. You can't charge the Most High with unkindness. You can't charge the Most High with evil and wickedness. You see, the Messiah and his disciples never charged the Almighty with creating evil and doing evil. Right? That's this Israelite movement. Men are boldly saying the Most High creates evil and does evil. Boldly saying it. They ain't even afraid to say it. But look what Peter's saying. Wherefore let no one in seeming evils rashly charge him, the Most High, with unkindness to man. For men do not know the issue of those things which happened to them. For men do not know the issue of those things which happened to them. Nay, suspect that the result will be evil. But Yah knows that they will turn out well. So is it in the case of Simon. He is a power of the left hand of Yah, and has authority to do harm to those who know not the Most High. Y'all see this? And has authority to do harm to those who know not the Most High, so that he has been able to involve you in diseases. But by these very diseases, look at this, y'all, which have been permitted to come upon you by the good providence of Yah, you seeking and finding him who is able to cure. He's saying because of your necessity to rid yourself of this disease or this plague, you naturally seek the Most High. All right? Even though Simon is evil, he chose to be evil. So he's described as, you know, on the left hand of the Almighty. All right? And because our people don't know who he is, he has the authority, meaning know who the Most High is. This Simon the magician has authority. And you don't open yourself up to diseases, demons, plagues, and all the like. Don't worry, we're going to show you out. All right, but being that you diseased, you know how you be sick. As soon as you become sick, ain't you in a rush to be cured? Ain't you in a rush to feel better? Yeah. So that's what he's saying, right? Through this evil that Simon is doing, it forces man to what? Seek the Most High. All right. Look at this. It says, have been compelled to submit to the will of the Most High on the occasion of the cure of the body, and to think of believing, in order that in this way you may have your souls as well as your bodies in a healthy state. Look, this so-called magician only got authority over those who know not the true character and essence of the Most High. But even when you become plagued because you've been in fellowship with this demon, all right, you naturally look for a cure. You naturally look for healing. And by looking naturally for a healing or for a cure, guess what? You're naturally seeking through instinct. You're seeking the Almighty because He the one that got the cure, right? Now watch this. The remedy, chapter 3, right? Don't we want to know remedies? Top of page 131. Clementine homilies. Don't we want to know the remedy? Whenever any one of us is sick, we always want to know the remedy. Always coming up with a remedy, right? Now look at this. The remedy. Now I've been told that after he had sacrificed a what? An ox. Look at this. Look at this. Sacrificing, huh? Now an ox is something that Hebrews argue all up and down. Oxtails, ox. Hebrews argue all up and down they can eat some ox. Right? But look how subtle Simon the magician was in opening you up to devils, to demons, to plagues, to sicknesses. Look what he did first, y'all. He sacrificed an ox. Something Hebrews argue with you all day and claim, oh man, it's clean meat right there. It's clean flesh. You can eat that. Now look at this. Now I've been told that after he had sacrificed an ox, he feasted you in the middle of the form, and that you being carried away with much wine made friends not only the evil demons, but their prince also. And that in this way, the most of you were seized by these sicknesses, unwittingly or unknowingly, drawing upon yourselves with your own hands the sword of destruction. Y'all, we can't partake in everybody's table. We can't partake in everybody's table. Because in doing that, you're feasting with the prince of these demons. You're opening yourself up to viruses and plagues and sicknesses. You know, you don't throw you off your senses. You don't play some music. You know how to drink flowing. You got a barbecue grill going. Nah, you can't eat with everybody. We can't be in table fellowship with everybody. Understand? Unwittingly drawn upon yourselves with your own hands the sword of destruction. For the demons would never have had power over you. For the demons would never have had power over you had not you first supped with their prince. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Really? Really? This saying right here, the demons don't have no authority over you. But unless you fellowship with them, unless you be in table fellowship with them. Nah, Jack, we can't eat with everybody. We can't share our table with everybody. For the demons would never have had power over you had not you first supped or ate with their prince. For thus from the beginning was a law laid by the Most High, the creator of all things, on each of the two princes. Him on the right hand. Remember that. Who sits on the right hand of the Most High? Who sits on the right hand, or who is at the right hand of the Most High? That will be our Messiah, right? Him of the right hand and him of the left. That neither should have power over anyone whom they might wish to benefit or to hurt, unless first he has sat down at the same table with them. And you know, even when it come down to the Messiah, he say, behold, I'm at the door, I'm knocking. And if you open, I'm gonna come in and what? Sup with you. That's in the book of Revelation, correct? This is even saying that the Messiah can't even benefit you unless you're willing to be in fellowship with him, unless you're willing to share your table with him. So what is the Mashiach feasting on then? What does he approve of? That prince on that left or that principality on that left, no deal. No deal. Because demons can never have power over you unless you sup with their prince first. All right? Now trip off this. As then, when you partook of meat offered to idols, you became servants to the prince of evil. Y'all hear this? Nah, we can't come to your pagan days. Y'all, we can't even have feast days dedicated to the Most High with dead animal flesh there. Because that's a bloody feast. That's a feast of dead animal flesh and blood. As then, when you partook of meat offered to idols, you became servants to the prince of evil. In like manner, if you cease from these things and flee for refuge to Yah through the good prince of his right hand, the Messiah, honoring him without sacrifices. Look at this, y'all. Without sacrifices. Honoring him without sacrifices, by doing whatsoever he wills. Know of a truth that not only will your bodies be healed, but your souls also will become healthy. Ooh-wee. Not healthy. Not healed bodies and healthy souls. Honor and humility been promoting around here. And everybody running around talking about something is a doctrine of the devil. Ooh-wee. Did Peter just give you the remedy to reverse the bodily plagues and to receive a healthy soul? Guess what you can't do? You can't have table fellowship with devils. You can't be partaking in flesh sacrificed to idols. Now here we go. Well, that's just talking about food sacrificed to idols, man. They ain't talking about dead animal flesh. Let's keep reading. All we gotta do is keep reading. Look at this. By doing whatsoever he wills and flee for refuge to the Most High through the good prince, Yahshua Mashiach, of his right hand, honoring him without sacrifices, without slaying and killing animals, without sacrifices, by doing whatsoever he wills. Know of a truth that not only will your bodies be healed, and y'all, we got brothers and sisters in the chat right now who have reverse diabetes. Bodies have been healed. But your souls also will become healthy. For he only, destroying with his left hand, can quicken with his right. He only can both smite and raise the fallen. Bottom of page 131, the golden rule. The golden rule. Now, if y'all understand so far, go ahead and give me a Yahoo up in the chat. You know I ain't trying to lose nobody. Why this phone jamming up a little taste? Let me see. Let me see. Let me see what's going on here. See, y'all got something to say. Let me see. Don't show jamming up. I can't even see what y'all saying. All right, the golden rule. Let's get into this. Let's get into the golden rule. Hold on, y'all. Do it like this. We don't be out here tripping. See what's going on up in the chat. Bang, bang, bang. All right. All right. Okay, okay. All praises. They're healthy now, that's right. Gloria Daniels, you need to hear that. Hallelujah. That's food to your soul, my sister. That's right. I see y'all getting some understanding. That's all praises. Yahweh. All right, let's get back to it. Lock and load effect mode. Let's get back to it. All right. Get back to it. Just gave you the remedy And remember this, Peter, Simon, Kepha was taught by Mashiach himself. All right. Nazarene books of 1st century. We go back. All right. All right, the golden rule, bottom of page 131. Wherefore, as then you were deceived by the forerunner, Simon, who was Simon Magus, and so became dead in your souls to the Most High, and were smitten in your body. So now, if you repent, as I said, and submit to those things which are well pleasing to the Almighty, you may get new strength to your bodies and recover your soul's health. And the things which are well pleasing to the Most High are these. These are the things that are well pleasing to Him. Look at this. You need to know this. All right, time to repent and turn away from the standard American diet, the SAD. Turn away from that. Stop chewing on the dead flesh of animals. All right, and the things which are well pleasing to Yah are these: to pray to Him, to ask from Him, recognizing that He is the giver of all things and gives with discriminating law. Absolutely. He wants you to be obedient to Him. Look at this, y'all. These are the things that please your maker: to abstain from the table of devils, not to taste dead flesh. There it is right there. Y'all see that? Look at that. These are the things that are well pleasing to your power. All right? To abstain from the table of devils, not to taste dead flesh. So you see how it is? My sister Keela, you see how the Clementine homilies line up with the Essene gospel of peace, line up with the gospel of Nazarenes. The message is the same when it comes down to what you're throwing down your throat. It's the same. It's the same message. And how you know it's the truth? Because it's not from the same exact source. So it got to be the truth. Meaning the same group of people didn't translate it. That's what I mean by it's not from the same source. All right? To abstain from the table of devils, not to taste dead flesh, not to touch blood, to be washed from all pollution, and the rest in one word, as the God-fearing Jews have heard. Hold on. What's going on? Top of page 132. As the God-fearing Jews have heard, do you also hear. And be of one mind in many bodies. Let each man be minded to do to his neighbor those good things he wishes for himself. Y'all, that's universal law. That's the law of the Most High. All right, keep it simple, right? Right? Do unto others as you will want them to do to you. Don't do to others what you don't want them to do to you. And you may all find out what is good by holding some such conversation as the following with yourselves. You would not like to be murdered. Do not murder another man. You would not like your wife to be seduced by another. Do not you commit adultery. You would not like any of your things to be stolen from you. Steal nothing from another. And so understanding by yourselves what is reasonable and doing it, you will become dear to the Most High and will obtain healing. Look at this. So it's not only you introducing your body into the right environment for the healing process, y'all, you also got to be sincere in your mind and how you're dealing out here for this spiritual, supernatural healing to go forth within you. All right? You can't have a wicked mind, but just because you claim you alkaline now or you plant-based, but you running around here with a wicked mind. You walking around here breaking all type of laws of the Torah. You see that? And expect a healing. Expect the Most High to green light a healing for thou. No, it don't work like that. And doing this, you will become dear to the Most High and will obtain healing. Otherwise, in the life which now is your bodies, will be tormented. Otherwise, in the life which now is, Your bodies will be tormented, and in that which is to come, your souls will be punished. Chapter 5, bottom of page 132. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. It's going down, y'all. All praises, glory, and honor to the Most High. Let's keep it going. Peter departs for Sidon. After Peter had spent a few days in teaching them in this way and in healing them, they were baptized. And after that, all sat down together in the marketplaces in sackcloth and ashes, grieving because of his other wondrous works and repenting their former sins. And when they of Sidon heard it, they did likewise and sent to beseech Peter, since they could not come themselves for their diseases. And Peter did not spend many days in Tyre, but when he had instructed all its inhabitants and freed them from all manner of diseases, and had founded a assembly or a church, and set over it as bishop one of the elders who were with him, he departed for Sidon. But when Simon heard that Peter was coming, he straightway fled to Beirut with Apion and his friends. Simon Magus is running from Peter. Simon the magician, you heard about him in Acts the 8th chapter. But that account don't do this battle no justice. Right? This man, Simon Magus, had a doctrine called the standing man doctrine. In other words, he had everybody convinced that he himself was the Messiah. Yeah. Yeah. Believe it or not. All right. Simon heard Peter on the way. He get on up out of there. He go to Beirut with his whole band of misfits. Peter and Sidon, and as Peter entered Sidon, they brought many in couches and laid them before him. And he said to them, think not, I pray you, that I can do anything to heal you. Who? Hold on. Who am a mortal man? I'm bad, y'all. Who am a mortal man, myself subject to many evils. But I shall not refuse to show you the way in which you must be saved. For I have learned from the prophet of truth, NehemiYAH met. The prophet of truth is the Messiah, Yahshua. The conditions foreordained of Yah before the foundation of the world. That is to say, the evil deeds which if men do, he has ordained that they shall be injured by the prince of evil. You see how you open yourself up to the prince of evil or the devil when he get authority over you? By sinning. By sinning is how you open yourself up to the prince of evil, the devil. That's how. And y'all, that's foreordained. If you choose to do evil, because the devil chose to do evil, he got authority over all those who choose his way. And then judgment is coming for him and everybody that follows him. Yeah, that's a law ordained. Because the devil himself wasn't even created evil. He chose evil. He abode not in the truth. He didn't remain in the truth. He used the power of free will to do what he wanted to do. And because of that, the Most High ordained a law putting him in authority over all those who decide to act just like him. And when he get the authority, he bring injuries to you. All right? That is to say, the evil deeds which if men do, he has ordained that they shall be injured by the prince of evil. And in like manner, the good deeds for which he has decreed that they who have believed in him as their physician shall have their bodies made whole and their souls established in safety. Hallelujah. All praises. The two paths. Y'all, we read about the two paths in Matthew 7 chapter, remember? The broad way, right? Narrow way. And that's wild. Almost every city got a broad way, don't it? Down on Broadway. You talking about the wide path. The way of destruction. That's what it sounds like. All right. Y'all willing, I pray my brothers and sisters are getting understanding. All right. Again, something wrong with this phone of mine. It's jamming up. So I really can't see the comments unless I, you know. I think I can do that real quick. Check on everybody. Make sure y'all good. Let's pull this on up. How we looking? Right, line right over there, the same gospel of peace. Absolutely, brother. That's right. That's right. Yeah, Broadway and MLK, you ain't lying. Broad is the way. Broad is the way. The way of destruction. And I see y'all. Okay, all praise. Let's get back into it. Get back into it. All right, Clementine Homilies, the two paths, page 133. The two paths. All right. Knowing then these good and evil deeds I make known unto you as it were two paths. Remember, it tell you that in Deuteronomy 30, verse 15. I lay before you two paths, life and death, right? Good and evil. Choose life and live. And I shall show you by which travelers are lost and by which they are saved, being guided of the Most High. The path of the lost then is broad and very smooth. It ruins them without troubling them. Look at that. Right? It's wide, it's broad, and it's very smooth. It's the easy way. The easy way out. That's the broad way. It ruins them without troubling them. But the path of the saved is narrow and rugged. Yeah. And in the end, it saves, not without much toil. That's right. Those who have journeyed through it. And these two paths are presided over by unbelief and faith. And these journey through the path of unbelief. These are those who travel through the path of unbelief, the broad way. Listen to this, y'all. Those who have preferred pleasure on account of which they have forgotten the day of judgment. Doing that which is not pleasing to the Most High, and not caring to save their souls by the word, and have not anxiously sought their own good. Truly, they know not that the counsels of Yah are not like men's counsels. For in the first place, he knows the thoughts of all men. And all must give an account not only of their actions, what about this, y'all, but also of their thoughts. Look at that. And here you go running around here thinking your God create evil and does evil. Well, that makes him evil. And you got an evil thought about your maker. Look at this. He knows the thoughts of all men, and all must give an account not only for what they do, their actions, but also for or of their thoughts. Proverbs 15 and 26. Thoughts of the wicked are an abomination to the Most High. And their sin is much less who strive to understand. And their sin is much less who strive to understand well and fail than that of those who do not at all strive after good things. Look at this. Because at least you trying. You got people out here not even trying. Just want to run their mouth against what we talking about. And their sin is much less who strive, who fight to understand well and fail than that of those who do not at all strive after good things, because it has pleased Yah that he who errs in his knowledge of good, as men count errors, should be saved after being slightly punished. Yeah. Yeah, your God, your power is merciful. Yeah. But that, never forget, there is a judgment. Because if there wasn't a judgment, what's the reason for living righteous then? We might as well all just be evil if it ain't no judgment. No, judgment is coming. And there is a reward for the righteous. But they who have taken no care at all, to know the better way. Y'all, this is that better way. We've been teaching is the better way, the perfect way. Regardless if you measure up right now or not, get to it. Get on your good foot and get on that narrow, rugged path. You have to go through much toil, many ups and downs and bumps and bruises. But that's the narrow path by which you will be saved. Even if you don't measure all the way up right now, at least check in. and get to it. What you waiting on? You understand? But those out here running their mouth, y'all, they not speaking against us. They speaking against the Almighty. That's who you speaking against. We not speaking our own words. We're ascribing righteousness to our Creator. Power, all-knowing, omnipotent, omnipresent, righteousness, no evil in him. Eyes in every place. Eyes 10,000 times brighter than the sun. Not ignorant of nothing. You see? We ascribe righteousness and power to our God. So whatever's written about him or against him that's opposite of what we believe his true character is, we don't receive it. Get on this good way. This is the better way. This is the perfect way. Hey, look, this was called the way. HaDirect, the way, back in the day. Straight up. Now, trip off this. But they who have taken no care at all to know the better way, even though they may have done countless other good deeds. You may be out there feeding the homeless and doing all that, but running your mouth against what we bringing out. Speaking against what Peter is talking about right now, because Peter just said what pleases the Most High. One of the things that pleases him is for you not to be chewing on dead flesh. This is the way of life. This is the deathless way. This is the perfect way. This is the better way. So, but they who have taken no care at all to know the better way, you don't even care about what we talking. You actually, these men actually, I heard calling what we saying demonic. Trip about this. Even though they may have done countless other good deeds. Yeah, you may have housed people. You may have fed the homeless. You may have did all that, but you spoke against the best way. You spoke against what the Most High was bringing out in these hours. You spoke against it. Even though they may have done countless other good deeds, if they have not stood in the service he has himself appointed, come under the charge of indifference and are severely punished and utterly destroyed. Good night. Y'all heard this? If you are here speaking against what we bringing out and thinking the Most High care anything about how many barbecues you done threw for the homeless, or how many coats you done gave away to the homeless in the winter, or how many men you done housed over at your house. That just said right there, but they who have taken no care at all to know the better way. Y'all, the better way is what we talking about. Did not Peter just say in the previous chapter what's pleasing to the Most High? One of the things that were pleasing to the Almighty was not to be chewing on dead animal flesh. You see? This is the better way or the perfect way. But they who have taken no care at all you doing is running your mouth against what we talking about. To know the better way, even though they may have done countless other good deeds. If they have not stood in the service the Most High has himself appointed, they, the people who've been running their mouth, come under the charge of indifference and are severely punished and utterly destroyed. All y'all been warned. Anybody speaking about against what we bringing out, you've been warned. Because all your fancy little good acts you think you've been doing don't even mean nothing. Why? Because you ain't staying in the service that the Most High himself appointed. You will be charged with indifference, being a rebel. And you will be severely punished and utterly destroyed. Not my words. Not my words. All right? Peter himself brought this out, as was taught to him by the Messiah himself. You ain't stood in the service of Yah, so what's the service of Yah then? Let's get into it. If y'all get some understanding, give me a 9 up in the chat. Y'all know I ain't trying to lose nobody. Oh, wait. All right. Give me a 9 up in the chat if you understand what's being said. That just said, look, you ain't standing in the service that the Most High appointed. All right. If you ain't choose the better way, all your little fancy little good deeds don't mean nothing to him. You're going to be charged as a rebel. You're going to be severely punished and utterly destroyed. Stand in the Most High service. This is what he appointed. This is the better way, or the perfect way, the way of life. Yeah, I know you want the message to be, oh, if you feel like it, you know, come on around if you feel like it. It really ain't, you know. I know you wanted to be shits and giggles. It ain't. It ain't. Stop chewing on the dead flesh of animals. Stop throwing these steel spirits down your throat. Stop smoking. Right? I love you enough to tell you the truth. All right. What's the service of the Most High? Top of page 134, Clementine Homilies. Y'all don't know Peter's journal. All right. Peter's journal. Shimon Kepha. All right. Let's get her done. The service of Yah's appointment. And this is the service he has appointed. To worship him only. And trust only in the prophet of truth. That's right. Prophet of truth, NehemiYAH is Yahshua the Messiah, spoken of in that New Testament. That's him. Trust only in him. Any of these men I heard claim they breaking down the Torah and did not get the understanding or the breakdown from the appointed 12 apostles. All right. One of the 120 that was up in that upper room that got those fiery tongues. If you are not getting the breakdown of the Torah or the true teachings of Mashiach that he passed to his chosen disciples, you skating on thin ice out here. You mingling the worship of the Most High with the devil. Because even with the contradictions and the conflicts and the tamperings in the scriptures, the Messiah still left a blueprint to his chosen, who he anointed to properly defend his teachings. That's what we've been going over. So you only worship the Almighty and you only trust in Yahshua HaMashiach. If any of these men doing their Torah portions, if the breakdown ain't coming from one of the 12, you understand? You skating on thin ice. And ain't none of y'all qualified to teach. Stand down. Stand down. All right? And trust only in the prophet of truth. And to be baptized for the remission of sins. That's another thing. A lot of you men feel you ain't got to go to the water and be immersed. Yes, you do. All right? Be baptized for or immersed for the remission of sins. And thus by this pure baptism to be born again under Yah by saving water. It's about this. This is the service of the Almighty. Y'all see this? To worship the Most High, trust in Yahshua HaMashiach. All right? To be immersed in water for the remission of your sins. All right? It's about this. To abstain from the table of devils. Y'all, we can't be in table fellowship with everybody. We just can't. Can't have it. Can't have it. To abstain from the table of devils, that is, from food offered to idols, from dead carcasses, from dead carcasses, from dead carcasses. This is the service of the Most High. This is what he appointed. So if you don't choose the good way and you don't stand in his service, y'all, it don't matter how much charity or good you think you done did. I heard. If you ain't stood in his service that he appointed, you're going to be severely punished and utterly destroyed. Well, part of that service, y'all, believe it or not, is to not to be chewing on the dead flesh of these animals. Man or beast. Abstain from the table of devils, that is, from food offered to idols, from dead carcasses, from animals which have been suffocated or caught by wild beasts, and from blood. Look at this. Y'all see this? Not to live any longer impurely. Trip off this, y'all. To wash after intercourse. Yes, you're supposed to wash after you be intimate with your spouse. Absolutely. All right? Not to live any longer impurely. To wash after intercourse. That the woman on their part should keep the law of purification. Absolutely. That all should be sober-minded. Put down the drink and the smoke. Y'all see this? Oh, man, sober just means you aware of your surroundings. Y'all, that also got to do with anything that's mind-altering. Stay away from it. All right? That all should be sober-minded, giving the good works, refraining from wrongdoing, looking for eternal life from the all-powerful Yah, and asking with prayer and continual supplication that they may win it. You need to be praying constantly that you may win salvation, that you may obtain to the kingdom. Such was Peter's counsel to the men of Sidon also. And in a few days, many repented and believed and were healed. And Peter, having founded a assembly, a church, and set over it as bishop one of the elders who were with him, and left Sidon. Y'all see this? Look at this. Oh, wait. I pray y'all got some understanding so far. All right? Remember, because Peter himself, he's hawking down Simon Magus. He's hawking him down. All right? But y'all see that. If y'all understand the service of the Almighty, all right? Part of it has to do with not chewing on the dead flesh of animals. All right? Being sober. Praying always. If you understand this. All right? Give me a 3 up in the chat. Y'all know I ain't trying to lose nobody. Never will. All right? It's part of his service. And look, you can have all that charity you talking, but if you ain't chose a better way, you're going to be destroyed. You're going to be destroyed. If you haven't chose the better way, this is the better way. This is the way of life. This is that perfect way. This is that narrow path. And y'all, look, it'd be different if I just was making this up. Y'all, this is Peter's journal. These are the teachings of Kepha, Shimon Kepha. And it's quite ironic that this lines up with the Essene gospel of peace and with the gospel of the Nazarenes. Ooh-wee. And the Nazarene Acts of the Apostles. It all lines up. It all lines up when it comes down to what we putting in our mouth. Y'all willing, anybody that's listening or that's on the fence, y'all willing to, you take heed. You take heed. What you think this is a popularity contest? You think we just brought this out because we was looking for attention? Y'all, this make you lose people that congregate with you, fellowship with you. This make you lose. And that's the one thing. If you're going to be any type of servant of the Almighty, you can't be afraid to lose friends, lose family. If the Most High is convicting you to stand up and speak up, you better do that. You better do it. All right? Simon attacks Peter. No sooner had he reached Beirut than an earthquake took place. You see that? As soon as Peter came into Beirut, I believe that's Beirut, Lebanon. As soon as Peter stepped into Beirut, an earthquake happened. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Roddy Rod in the building. Bless up. Nehemiah, where you at? You going off? Right, as soon as Peter stepped in the building, earthquake happened, right? And the multitude ran to Peter, said, "Help us, for we are afraid we shall all utterly perish." And Simon ventured along with Apion, Anubion, Athen, Adoras, and the rest of his companions to cry out to the people against Peter in public. Flee, friends, from this man. He is a magician. Trust us. It was who caused this earthquake. He sent us these diseases to terrify us as if he were Yah himself. And many such false charges did Simon and his friends bring against Peter. Right? So y'all, that's part of this walk. You're going to have men bringing up false charges as one who could do things above human power. But as soon as the people gave him a moment's quiet, Peter, with surprise and boldness, gave a little laugh and said, friends, I admit that I can do, God willing, what these men say. And more than that, I am ready, if you do not believe what I say, to overturn your city from top to bottom. Straight up. Not sure about this. Simon driven away. Top of page 135. Simon is driven away. And the people were afraid and promised to do whatever he should command. Let none of you then, said Peter, either hold conversation with these sorcerers or have anything to do with them. And as soon as the people heard this concise command, they took up sticks and pursued them till they had driven them wholly out of town. Look, Peter turned the people against Simon and his friends. Understand? And guess what they did? They chased Simon and his whole band of misfits out of town. Dang, that's cold. Peter like, look, since y'all saying I got, supernatural power and do things on the level of God, then yeah, if you don't believe me, I'm going to tear your whole city inside out, up and down. They all get afraid, and he say, look, don't even hold a conversation with them sorcerers or have anything to do with them. And then the people turn on Simon and his band of misfits based off what Peter says. That's cold. That's cold. That's cold. And they were sick, and they who were sick and possessed with devils came and cast themselves at Peter's feet. And he, seeing all this and anxious to free them from their terror, said to them, the way of salvation. Why able to cause earthquakes and do all that I wish, I assure you, I would not destroy Simon and his friends. For not to destroy men am I sent, but would make him my friend, that he might no longer by his slanders against my preaching the truth hinder the salvation of many. But if you believe me, he himself is a magician. He is a slanderer. He is a minister of evil to them who know not the truth. Therefore, he has power to bring diseases on sinners, having the sinners themselves to help him in his power over them. But I am a servant of Yah, the creator of all things. That's right. And a disciple of his prophet, who is at his right hand. Yahshua, the Messiah, is at the right hand of the Most High. Wherefore I, being his apostle, preach the truth. To serve a good man, I drive away diseases. For I am his second messenger, since first the disease comes, but after that the healing. By that evil working magician, then you were stricken with disease, because you revoked it from Yah. By me, if you believe on him, you shall be cured. And so, having had experience that he is able, you may turn to good works and have your souls saved. Ooh-wee. All right, bottom of page 135, chapter 12. Homily 7, chapter 12. And he said these things. As he said these things, all fell on their knees before his feet. And he, lifting up his hands to heaven, prayed to the Most High. And healed them all by a simple prayer alone. And he remained not many days in Beirut. But after he had accustomed many to the service of the one Yah, and had baptized them, and had set over them a bishop from the elders who were with him, he went to Byblos. And when he came there and learned that Simon had not waited for them for a day, but had gone straightway to Tripolis, he remained there only a few days. And after that, he had healed not a few, and exercised them in the scriptures. He followed in Simon's track to Tripolis, preferring to pursue him rather than flee from him. Peter was running him down. Peter was running down on old Simon Magus. Running down on him. Y'all see that? I also want to show y'all this before we close up. I want to show y'all this too. Right? The simple living of Peter. Peter lived a simple life, even though he had the words of life and the keys of the kingdom of heaven. He lived a simple life. All right? He lived a very, very simple life. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. All right? Very, very simple life. And was content. Very content with what the Most High blessed him with. All right? I believe we need to be the same way. All right? Be content. Godliness with contentment is great game. Always remember that. All right, I want to show y'all something. All right, we're going to page 194. All right. All right, we're going to page 194. All right, and we're going to read over to page 195. All right, all praises, glory now to the Most High. We're going into homily 12. We're going into chapter 6, Peter's frugality, or simple living. All right. Going up a little bit. Click on it. Let it come on in. And let's eat. Let's eat. I want to show y'all this before we get up out of here. All right. Good to see y'all in the building. Oh, wait. Good to see y'all in the building. Nehemiah going off. Nehemiah, pick us a psalm or something so we can pray out, brother. All right. Count yourself blessed, y'all. You done chose the way of life. Yeah, the path is narrow. Yes, you know, full of ups and downs and all that, but you can endure that. You can endure that. All right. We as your brothers and sisters over here, we gonna challenge you to be that. Be better. Choose the better way. But for those who refuse the better way and think just because they out here feeding the homeless or letting people stay at their house or whatever charity you doing, if you refuse to stand in the service that the Most High appointed, and part of that service is not chewing on dead animal flesh, being sober, serving the one and only true, or worshiping the one and only true power, believing only Yahshua, the Messiah. Because he was the only one anointed to really teach what Moses intended. But the Most High gave Moses, the only one anointed to raise up and teach what it was is Yahushua HaNazarene, the Nazarene, HaMashiach. All right, and he gave that understanding to his leadership, the ones he left in charge. That's who you need to be getting the breakdown of the Torah from. You should not be getting your Torah breakdown from any of these decrepit elders who have not learned the Nazarene understanding. You understand that the Messiah left himself. Well, how I know? Like, what do I get from y'all? What you think we've been going over lately? Ain't Simon Peter one of the 12 apostles who had them fiery tongues on him? Well, y'all, you need to get the Nazarene Acts of the Apostles and the Clementine homilies. Peter's in there going right over what the Messiah taught him concerning the Torah. You need to get that. You need to get the gospel of the Holy 12 or the gospel of the Nazarene. Right? Written by John the Apostle, one of the Holy 12. Get the gospel of Thomas, another one. All right? These men were with him, were taught by him, schooled by him. So, hey, we need to count ourselves blessed that, you know, the Messiah left the blueprint on how to defend his teachings. All right, so it's time to get to it, y'all. Page 194. Peter's frugality. All right. Y'all, if you about truth, you should be able to glean truth out of whatever and then apply it to your life. Apply that to your life. If you can't, look, y'all, if you can't apply what you're reading, you're just reading. You do a book report or something? Is that all you're doing? Like, I don't understand. If you can't read this and then apply it to your life to affect righteous change within your life, within your house, then what are you reading anything for? What are you gaining certain knowledge and wisdom and understanding for? Ain't it to put it into practice? Well, it should be. It should be to put it into practice, if I ain't mistaken. You can't be vigilant if you ain't sober, brother. Absolutely. Some people believe they can. I beg to differ. Right? Peter's frugality. Then Peter hearing smiled and said, "What think you then, O Clement?" So Clement basically wants to be Peter's fellow traveler. You know what I mean? And basically be Peter's servant, his helper. Travel around with him. So then Peter hearing smiled and said, "What think you then, O Clement? Do you not think that you are placed by very necessity in the position of my servant? For who else?" He said, "For who else shall take care of those many splendid tunics with all my changes of rings and sandals? And who shall make ready those pleasant and artistic dainties, which being so various need many skillful cooks, and all those things which are procured with great eagerness and are prepared for the appetite of effeminate men, as for some great wild beast? However, such a choice has occurred to you, perhaps without you understanding and knowing my manner of life, that I use only bread and olives." Look at this, y'all. Perhaps, he said, however, such a choice has occurred to you, perhaps without you understanding and knowing my manner of life, that I use only bread and olives and rarely pot herbs, and that this is my only coat and cloak which I wear. And I have no need of any of them, nor of anything else, for even in these I abound. For my mind, seeing all the eternal good things that are there, regards none of the things that are here. Peter said, my mind is on the eternal realm, the kingdom. Right? He like, look, what you think I got? A whole bunch of splendid tunics with a gang of rings and sandals? What you think this is? What you think I got banquets waiting on me and royal dainties? Knows what he say, effeminate men being all that. Let me read that again. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. That was funny. Then Peter hearing smiled and said, "What think you then, O Clement? Do you think that you are placed by very necessity in the position of my servant? Do you not think that you are placed by very necessity in the position of my servant? For who else?" Like Peter's being sarcastic here, y'all. "Who else shall take care of those many splendid tunics with all my changes of rings and sandals? And who shall make ready those pleasant and artistic dainties, which being so various need many skillful cooks? And all those things which are procured with great eagerness and are prepared for the appetite of effeminate men, as for some great wild beast? However, such a choice has occurred to you, perhaps without you understanding." Meaning you choosing to be my servant, but you don't understand. "Or knowing my manner of life, that I use only bread and olives." Peter wasn't chewing on the dead flesh of animals. You see what Peter's meal was? Bread and olives. And rarely pot herbs. And that this is my only coat, meaning he ain't got a whole bunch of these changeable tunics. "This is my only coat and cloak which I wear, and I have no need of any of them, nor of aught else. For even in these I abound. For my mind seeing all the eternal good things that are there, that are in the kingdom, regards none of the things that are here." Like he ain't caught up in all that. Kepha wasn't caught up in any of these things that promote you socially. He can care less. However, I accept of your goodwill, and I admire and commend you for that you, a man of refined habits, have so easily submitted your manner of living to your necessities. For we, from our childhood, both I and Andrew, my brother, who was also my brother as respects to Yah, not only being brought up in the condition of orphans, but also accustomed to labor through poverty and misfortune, easily bear the discomforts of our present journeys. Whence, if you would obey me, you would allow me, a working man, to fulfill the part of a servant to you. Peter saying on the reels, allow me to serve you. Look, I done lived a simple and a meager life my whole life. Me and my brothers was orphans. Like the misfortunes and the trials and perils of this journey means nothing. The discomforts of this journey don't mean nothing to me. My mind is on the kingdom. It ain't on this present world. All this means nothing. Right? You should allow me to be a servant to you. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Powerful. Powerful. All right, so y'all marked it. Homilies 12, chapter 6. All right, Shimon Kepha, or who we know as Peter. All right. Peter lived a simple life. All right. All right. Bread and olives. Bread and olives. All right. Pot herbs every once in a while. All right. Wasn't chewing on the dead flesh of them animals. Like our people mad right now. You understand? Now we're going to challenge you to be better. We're going to challenge you to choose the better way. Because as we read, right? If you don't choose the better way, which is what part of the better way is not chewing on the dead flesh of animals. All right? That's part of the better way. If you don't choose the better way, right? Even the very charity that you out here doing means nothing. You're going to be tortured and destroyed utterly. This is that way. This is the narrow path, y'all. It's more than just we knowing we Israel. All right? The whole world know that now. And it's real easy to be a Hebrew Israelite. All right? Real easy. All right? But what sect of Israel are you part of? Because the Nazarene sect was highly disciplined. They are a branch of the Essenes. Highly disciplined. Prolonged periods of prayer, fasting, meditation. Long periods of study. Guardians of creation. Totally against the temple sacrifices and the slaughter of innocent animals. Go and sin no more. Well, that shut the temple down. If everybody out here not sinning, you ain't bringing sacrifices. Easy work. All right. NehemiYAH, you said you want the link. All right, bro. Let me go ahead and send that to you. Send NehemiYAH the link. Come on up in here, all right? And give us a powerful prayer, and we're gonna go ahead and get it done and sit on back until we go live tomorrow. We got more to bring y'all. Man, so much. That's a beautiful thing, all right? Your mom send it to the big man Gmail, all right? All right, that's off in cyberspace, all right? All right, there you go. All right, so that's coming on through. I'll see you in the back chat, let you on in. All right, if y'all got some understanding, go ahead and give us a 4 up in the chat. Throw up them 4s, baby. All right, give us a 4 up in the chat. All right. Yeah, these brothers chose the better way. The better way, or the perfect way, is the way that you're supposed to be going. All right. Hey, our people are not breaking down the Torah as stipulated and taught by our master teacher, the Messiah. You are in grave violation. In grave violation. We see the better ways. All right. We see the golden rule. Right? And we see the service of the Most High. If you don't stand in the service that he ordained himself, You're going to be severely punished and utterly destroyed. Part of that service is not to be chewing on dead carcasses, not to be chewing on the dead flesh of animals. All right? Hey, look, we even see that Peter himself, hey, let me see if y'all was listening. What did Peter say he ate? Go ahead and post that up in the chat. What was Peter's food? What was his food? That's right. Rise up and walk. That's right, bro. What was the food that Peter was eating on? Okay, for Shimon Kepha. What was he eating on? See if y'all was paying attention. Bread and olives. That's right. That's right. Bread and olives. All right. So no dead animal flesh. No dead animal flesh on the menu. Y'all, that's eating for Passover. You ain't got to be chewing on no dead animal flesh for Passover. That's what it is. All right. Y'all paying attention. So that means y'all getting understanding then. All right. And as your brother, I would say again, if y'all just coming on, make sure y'all get these first century, these Nazarene books, even though we ain't gonna show everything we got, but this is what you need. This is what you need. Of course, your Bible. You definitely need your Bible. All right. All right, you need that gospel of the Nazarenes. All right. I did a 56-slide presentation going over the authenticity and the historicity of the Nazarene sect. All right. We in the mouth of ancient church historians, y'all, going back 20 centuries, going back to the first century. All right. Make sure y'all get that. These is on Amazon. They going up though. My boy Roddy Rod say, man, all the Nazarene books going up. You need the Clementine homilies. All right. The Clementine homilies is Peter's journals, documented by Clement, his servant. Right, who was a convert into the Nazarene way. Clement was. All right, in the Clementine homilies, all right, and the Nazarene Acts of the Apostles. All right, both of these are Peter's journals, which is this has a little more in it that this don't. Right, some of the stuff in there are the same though. Right, and since Peter was one of the 12 ordained, appointed apostles, then it'll do you well. It will behoove you to go get. It will behoove you to go get what he wrote, because in her is his teaching that the Messiah taught him. The Messiah taught his disciples how to defend his teachings. You need these along with your Bible. All right, get your Bible as well. So this right, once you got these, you in the game. Another name for this is the Gospel of the Holy 12. Or I mean, it's worded a little different in certain places, but still for the most part saying the same thing. All right, you need these. Nazarene Acts of the Apostles, which is the true book of Acts. All right, Clementine homily, first century documents. All these go back to the first century. All right, that's what you need to get started. You need that. You need that so you can properly learn how to navigate, and then you'll see even with the scriptures that have contradictions and conflicts, Peter addressed all that. He addressed all of it, and Messiah showed his disciples how to be, when dealing with the scriptures, how to be what's called good bankers or money changers. A banker has developed the sense of discerning between real money and fake money. You need to develop the ability to know how to tell between what's written about your God and what's written against him. All right? You believing that the Most High creates evil and does evil, that's written against him. All right? Because if he creates evil and does evil, y'all, that makes him evil. Now, evil is a byproduct of, by free will, going against what the Most High ordains. That's when you got evil. Who was the first one to do that? Satan himself. He's the father of evil. Now, when you read in the Old Testament or in the Torah and the Tanakh that God has created evil and he created all things for himself, even the wicked for the day of evil, and should there be evil in the city and the Most High ain't done? Yeah, you're going to read that. I'm not here telling you ain't going to read it. Right, but you don't see the Messiah at all ascribing evil or his disciples ascribing evil to his Father. You know where he put evil on? Who he put evil on? He put evil on the devil. He's the father of it. He was a murderer from the beginning. He didn't remain in the truth. Y'all, if you're thinking wrong about your God, that makes you an outcast of his kingdom. That makes you his enemy. All right? All praise is going out to the Most High. I've been seeing them numbers too, Keela. You know, I ain't going to make nothing up for you, but I've been seeing them too quite often. Let me bring NehemiYAH in. KFC op. Check the video I emailed you today at Malaki. Okay, let me check you out, bro. Let me add NehemiYAH on in. NehemiYAH in the building. Bless up.
What it do, bro? What it do?
Brother, what's going on? All right?
Oh, man, just getting in from the Young Brews. You know, the Young Brews nephew had a little cooking thing going over there, a little vegan smorgasbord, and invited Uncle on over. I was sleep on the couch.
Plant-based, brother. You know, vegan got a whole doctrine. They come
Genesis 129, brother. You right. Genesis 129.
Genesis 129. Now, what's up, brother? I'm glad you was eating some living food, brother. All praises.
Man, I took one bite and went to sleep, brother. I ain't lying. You know, I've been at work all day. I crashed on the couch.
Well, that sounds like thou, brother. Absolutely.
Yeah. Then look, you know, my great niece and great nephew came and terrorized me. I got water poured on me and everything. So life is good.
All praises. All praises. All right, bro. You got a psalm for us or something, bro?
I got Psalms 20, brother. Psalms 20. I think it's a powerful one for this hour.
And y'all willing tomorrow around 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, we right back up. And we gonna eat. We gonna bring out the hammers and go through all these, go through all this understanding. And y'all willing, let's get her done. You know what I mean? All praise. Go ahead and get that Psalm 20. Y'all, we gonna face Jerusalem and get her done. Peace, love, light, and healing to the faithful elect. Go ahead, Nick.
Let me go ahead and get this on out the way real quick. All praises to the Most High and His only begotten Son. We're going to read Psalms 20, y'all. Psalms 20. All right. Verse 1. Yahweh, hear thee in the day of trouble. The name of Elohim of Jacob defend thee. Send thee help from the sanctuary and strengthen thee out of Zion. Remember all thy offerings and accept thy burnt sacrifice, Selah. Grant thee according to thy own heart and fulfill all thy counsel. We will rejoice in thy salvation, and in the name of our Elohim we will set up our banners. Yahweh fulfill all thy petitions. Now know that I, Yahweh, saveth his anointed. He will hear him from his holy heaven with the saving strength of his right hand. Some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we remember the name of Yhwh, our Elohim. They are brought down and fallen, but we are risen and stand upright. Verse 9. Save Yahweh. Let the King hear us when we call. Hallelujah. Selah. Yahweh. Hallelujah. Man, real quick and simple. Straight to the point. I'm not sure if Matt is going to be coming in doing a prayer. He'll probably come in.
All praises, y'all. All glory, all honor. The Most High, the owner, creator, and possessor of everything there is. Hey, y'all, look, we here to encourage you. You're never alone in this walk. If you need prayer, if you need just, encouragement or whatever, press on toward perfection. All right? And again, the best way to filter through the noise is this. We ain't teaching nothing sinful. We're not teaching nothing sinful. All right? We're pointing you back or forward to paradise, to the kingdom, to the garden, God Idan. All right? And hey, it's a beautiful thing, man. It feels good to be against everybody, right? For righteousness' sake. That feel good to me. It's all good. Again, it'd be different. It'd be different if we was out here in iniquity, in the galls of bitterness. You know what I'm talking about, Nee? But if everybody coming against us because what we are saying is a message of life, it's a message of freedom, it's a message of power, it's a message of health. You understand? It's a message of powerful prayers. And hey, if you angry,
true love, man, true fellowship, man, true brotherhood, sisterhood, true place of holiness, man. I'm talking like we was already close with our people, but like even closer. And actually help you wean out the nonsense that you never needed around you in the first place. Because actually we are supposed to mark them and avoid those and separate from those. And it's more and more clear even with the seen understanding of what's going on. So also, I just want to bring that part out, man. Like, I love even harder. I believe even harder. You know what I'm saying? Everything about life. Look, bro, I walk up to the house and I see little water bugs outside. You know how the little black water bugs be out there? Yeah. You usually crush them, right? And, never even think twice about their life. I walk right on past them. You hear me? Walk right on and let them be. You hear me? I had a fly flew in my truck today at work, bro. Boy, I'm like, this brother just came and invaded all my little space, right? So I swung my hand, bro. I caught the fly between my thumb and the crack of my thumb and my palm, right? And flew him right back out the window. Didn't even kill him. You hear me? And I ain't never caught a fly in my hand before. Just go ahead, get on back out here, brother. I ain't even gonna try to hurt you.
Yeah.
I ain't sure about the mosquitoes. I ain't ran up on none of those. They might get a little work. But no, man.
Or just be
just
like
a whole different thing about life, man. You just value life. You know what I'm saying? Like, you love his creation. I look at the birds different. When they on the ground kicking it, how they play together. When they be in them little bushes, they be just talking to each other. You know what I'm saying? It's amazing, man, just how life is different when you value it. You know what I'm saying? I was over there at nephew house. The dog loved me to death. He kept jumping on me. I shouldn't have fed him. When you feed a dog, it's over for thou.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Honor, I caught it with my hand. You hear me? Never caught a fly with my hand before. But I'm just grateful, man. I had new life in my family. Had my 29th grandbaby named Joel. By my daughter, baby J. I named her J, but I spelled the J-I. One granddaughter had to have surgery. She's fine. My other granddaughter, Zalea, her birthday today. I had Jason's birthday on the 25th, and the wife's birthday on the 21st, and 2 anniversaries this month. My soul day. It's beautiful, man. Just everything is beautiful. So I'm totally grateful, man. The Lord has been beautiful. Messing with Emma set apart. I got kicked off of Facebook because I wanted her to get kidnapped and come to St. Louis and cook for us.
Man, you said kidnap. Boy, them Facebook algorithms like, shut him on down. You did. But man,
hey, talk to my brother Kepha too. Awkward, hollered at him, man. He sent me a beautiful, wonderful shirt. Bless my house. Brother might be coming on home. Have to work on them boots. Man, it's a lot of joy, bro. When you get your first share of the enemy coming and get up against your little taste. But when you look at the joy that the Most High give you, man, you can't even be mad no more. You hear me?
Absolutely.
You cannot be mad.
Hey, I'm the same way, brother. You dig? Like, you know, hey, your whole outlook on life is totally different.
Totally different, bro.
You be like, wow.
I even love Mally. He getting dark.
Like, what is out there, boy, letting that sun kiss on me? You already know.
Oh, yeah, I done got dark too being out there in that sun, brother. Trust, I do understand it thou.
Charge up a little taste. But yeah, man, it's just what it is, man. Show me how it rests, guardians of the earth. You understand? And to me, it's humbling, it's exciting, and it's humbling to be the recipients of this spirit that they tried so hard to put out this earth, bro. Like, all these brothers were murdered. They was hunted down. They was hunted down by that Roman beast and put down. And for that spirit to recycle or rebirth back into this earth at this last second should let everybody know. You understand? The Most High about to make a major league move. How about we be prepared when he make it? All right? He about to make a major league move. How is it that they don't get so hard to silence this movement? Well, that Roman beast with them Herodians and all that, as their tax collectors, boy, came in. I'm talking about everybody head got hit. All the disciples died violently. Messiah died violently. His brother James got thrown off the temple, died, then stoned. Peter crucified. I mean, all of them. His cousin John the Baptist was beheaded.
All that going on around.
All of these brothers that were that disciplined and dedicated, whether they was Essenes or Nazarenes, was just another branch of the Essenes. They was hunted down. And for us to be a recipient of that spirit, in other words, to continue in their footsteps from 2,000 years ago, our brother, it's very humbling, it's very exciting, and I know the Most High about to make a move. How about it?
Hey, no ifs and buts about it, man. No ifs and buts about it.
We be ready when he make his move by being totally, you understand, totally dedicated to him. Keela, you can read those martyrdom accounts. Well, Peter's martyrdom is actually in the homilies, the Clementine homily, but you can type in the depth of the 12 disciples. It'll blow your mind. It's been out there. That information been out there. The depth of the 12 disciples. All of them met a violent end. Majority of them. Violent. Them brothers were hunted down and terminated. And that was 2,000 years ago. So for that spirit to recycle back, you understand? Meaning the Most High from his throne green lighted for that spirit to be back in this earth at this time. Y'all, I'm talking about in the COVID-19 world. You understand? Mask mandates and vaccine mandates. And then you mean to tell me that this spirit gets recycled back in the earth at this time? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's an honor to be on the team. It's an honor to be a servant, man. So all praise and glory now to the Most High. Look, love all y'all indeed in the truth. 1 p.m. Central Standard Time tomorrow. We should be right back live. You know, the young snipers and NehemiYAH and them and a couple other brothers should be, we all should be together getting it done. So all praises. Love y'all indeed in truth.
Hey, Mally, send me that 6-digit code that just came in your email so I better log in this computer back here.
That ain't what, for tomorrow?
Well, I just did it now, so it probably sent it to you already. You can just text it to me.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I see it.
Hey, y'all, I want to send out that survival book. You know what I'm talking about, Mally. Remember that survival book we had?
Yeah.
I want to send it out because we done had a whole lot of people that done joined in on our ranks since, you know, NehemiYAH has made that strong, hard-line stance to walk in a Mashiach. And we got a book that was written literally 50 years ago. 50 years ago today. Well, this year, I should say. Written in 1971. So that's 50 years ago. And I want to send that book up to y'all, man, because look, with the way things are going, we need to know how to survive out here. If you get a chance, get the book that I'm about to email everybody. Get that book and download it and put it in a folder and put that in your travel bag in case of emergency.
Yeah, do not buy it. Do not try to look for it.
Don't try to look for it online. Don't try to buy it. It's illegal.
Yeah, that book is banned in America. That deal banned in America. Don't buy. Please don't buy that. You get red flag. Don't even type it in.
And I am not trying to even say the name so they won't do something to this video here.
No, we ain't gonna say the name. We ain't gonna say the name at all. But the skills in that is definitely needed. Definitely need to know what it is. All right. So, all right, y'all. I just texted that to you, so you got the code. Hey, y'all. Most High willing, tomorrow we be right back up feasting with y'all. Love all y'all indeed and in truth. Hey, don't stop till you eat not. All right. And y'all already know what it is with us. Strap up, back up, long to the king. Yo.
Yo.
Little Roddy Rod. That's damn. Really? That's why.